All right, brethren, I'm here, and I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm here. I'm glad, and I thank you for joining me. My name is Shaikwab Ben Yisrael. Welcome to my channel. Oh, man. Hey, brother Elijah, good to see you, bro. I can set a clock by you. Good to see you, bro. Anyway, thank you for joining me on my channel. And anybody else who comes in and sees this video, thank you for joining me. Welcome to my channel. It's a channel where I'm just a servant of the Creator, and I like to try to do anything I can to serve my brethren. And to me, that means try to stay as close to the word of the Creator as I possibly can, which means that I like to share the Creator's word, the light, he calls it, the OAHSPE Bible. It's not very popular, not very well received. We live in a time where the Creator is, especially now, he's brought about a density, and it's causing people even more so than ever not to be interested in spiritual things. And it's the density, the AG is it has a dual effect on brethren who are under the vibration of the Creator, meaning that they can receive his light. They have this vibration. They have this spirit on them where they, for some reason, they spiritually minded. The Creator, he's important to them. And personally, I think it's like a form of suis, where you're able to see the unseen. I think that all faiths have that to one degree or another, where they have such a anointed faith on them that they separate from the world in their mind, and they just try to learn and mature and elevate and grow. And these are brethren that are children of the Creator. The Creator, he don't force himself on nobody. He basically just says, if you want me, here I am. And if not, I'm not going to force you. Religion, it forced you pretty much. We all grew up. It pretty much was forced on us, Bible, church, have to go, if you don't, hellfire. And so it was pretty much forced on us. And I can even see how the Creator, he worked through that to get you exposed to, if anything, the church, they talk about spiritual things, things you can't see, what happens where did granddad go? And he died. Where did he go? And people, they at some point want those questions answered. And so we got exposed to spirituality. And I think that it was the Creator. It worked in as part of his plan to expose us. And then you get to an age, you old enough, you should pick up your own initiative and then just tap into your own spirit, what you need to feed it. And then for you, faith, it's going to lead you to the Creator. You're just going to gravitate to him. You're going to look for him. Even though you're going to get taken around the block, and deceived and frustrated. And that's the Creator shaping your character to build in us that ability to endure the present reality. A good soldier, a good anything is somebody who's been tried, man. They tried and true. They've been tested. I mean, you see the principle in the world. Why can't the Creator, why can't he be the same way? And really all things come from the spiritual. You get tested, you get examined. We looked at that the other day. Remember on Tuesday? We looked at it the other day. The initiate, he got approached by the Druges. He got approached by religion, Brahma, Christianity, Mohammedanism, Hinduism. He got approached. The beast kingdom came at him. Same for us. And this reality, and again, I was saying on that video, I think that our life is a rite, a testimony, a ritual, one way or another. I think that initiate, we ain't no different than that initiate. I think that the questions that initiate we looked at, and the I forget what book it was. What book was it where we read? I forget. I think it was. I can't remember. It was different books under these different strange names in the OAHSPE. But anyway, those questions that the initiate got asked, we get the same things in this reality. People, they question you. They want to know why, OAHSPE, what does it teach? And how's it any different? And we get the same questions, really, And so it could be, and now correct me if I'm wrong, I could be, I'm just speculating, but I think that our life is like an initiation, one way or another, in our own way, in our own reality, that the Creator is putting us through the same paces so that we land when the place, we land when we go into the spiritual to the best place that's fitted for us. Like it goes to like. That's the principle of the Creator, And I found a real good scripture, I think I found a really good scripture where it talks about the objective and subjective mind. And man, I just think it's dynamite. I think the Creator, he really helping you to show where if you got an objective mind, then this is the type of way that you're going to be. If you got a subjective mind, and from what I understand, the Creator, he said that the first resurrection is the subjective mind. The subjective mind, where you your focus is on the corporality, on the earthly. You speak, you resonate with, you talk about, the things of the earth, and you look at it as a perspective from the earth to the heavens. And the objective mind is one where you have this view from the heavens to the earth. How that works out, I can't say exactly. Just one of those things that you can understand it, and you can the meaning in your mind, how to interpret it, how to internalize it. And I just found that today before I was setting up, and I was reading a little bit. And also, I don't know if I'm gonna have time, but I'm gonna read a little bit from the Radiance Anthology. I found something there that I think that brethren really, really like. So, hold on, just strap yourself in. I pray that the Creator, that he help me. So I can say something. That hopefully I encourage you, brother. Again, welcome to the channel. It's a place really primarily. I hope, that brethren come together and we just talk to one another. I'm just a brother. I'm just trying to do my best and just stay as close as I can to the OAHSPE, talk about what the Creator says and how I think that he uses me in this reality and the lessons that I learned. And I also hope to document my spiritual growth. And I have a history of videos, and I've shown where I've been deceived. I was a Hebrew Israelite, and I was a Christian. And then I was a Hebrew Israelite, and then I went kind of on my own, and I got to the Third Testament, which is a good read, but I stopped doing it because I came into the OAHSPE, and plus I stopped focusing on the Third Testament because it leads you too much to Jesus Christ. It talks about, there's a lot of truth in the Third Testament, man. As I find things, I'm gonna share it. Things in the Third Testament, it's a lot of good stuff in there, man. I think the Creator, he forces false gods to spill some of the beans of the spiritual. It's just that false gods, they give you enough truth to deceive you, get you plugged into them, and then they tell you their deity and their idol, and they credit him with the things of the Creator, and people get locked in and plugged in and deceived that way. And that's the beast kingdom for you. As simple as that, man. Now, in the Bible study yesterday, the sister, she really, really said something interesting. A sister talking about our reality, and you brother might not know this, and in the corporeal, there's a big strike. The port workers, they got a lot of power, man. From New York to Texas, the port workers, they went on strike. They can pretty much push the workers can pretty much push the company around. Whenever they want more money, just go on strike, man. Just go on strike. What are you gonna, these people, you need them, they're skilled. They know how to run the cranes and, unload and offload and scheduling and logistics. And, you can't easily replace them. And the powers that be, these companies want to automatize, machines and their jobs. And they don't want that. They want to keep, they don't, they want more money and they want to guarantee against automation. And so now I mentioned that because September 1st, that's when Pluto came back into Capricorn. See, that's what the sister was mentioning on the Bible study. And I bolted upright when she said that. And I mean, because you better know that's my wheelhouse. I love to talk about those things because it affects the earth. The planets affect the earth and puts a vibration on us. And it's so subtle, but it's so strong that you don't really know it until you look back and you see how the creator is working on the vibration of men. So to get back, September 1st, Pluto actually went back into Capricorn. Now, the reason why that's important is because economically, we should see some earthquakes. We're going to see it's going to be like Capricorn's last stand. Capricorn. Let me show you what Capricorn is. It has to do with work and authority and big business and finances. And what are some of the attributes of Capricorn? So you got Capricorn. See, you see the keywords for Capricorn? You see? Ambitious, hardworking. Now, I'm looking for the vibration. I'm looking for the definitions that point to industry, economy. These are people that are they're usually the ones that own the company. They're usually the ones that sign the paychecks. See, that's the sign of power and authority. And Pluto, let's look at Pluto real quick. Pluto, what are the key words for the zodiac planet Pluto? Now, Pluto in astrology, see, is power and, sexuality, subconscious exploration. And what they're not mentioning, and I guess I'll just mention it, is its intensity, its passion, So if you connect, and they got it right here, so that's good. I didn't expect to see this. So they got it right here. So this is good. It says, when Pluto was in Capricorn for 14 years, from 2008 until it moved into Aquarius in 2023. See, it says Capricorn rules government, structure, and the practical. See, that's their vibration that they're under. Usually, you meet one, one, and they're real close to. These people are like social climbers. They are really tied to business and industry, and they hard workers. And they usually, like I was saying, they usually own a company or they're on the board or some position of power. Now, when you couple Pluto with Capricorn, you got an intensity under those vibrations, power and authority when Pluto moves into Capricorn, right? So now Pluto in September 1st, it moved into Capricorn. But see, it's going to come out now. It doesn't mention it here, but it's going to come out November 19th. November 19th, it's going to come out of Capricorn, and Pluto's going to go into Aquarius. What does it mean when Pluto goes into Aquarius? And when it goes into Aquarius, then these are the events that you brethren can look forward to. Now, I want to focus on this right here, society. This is what's going to happen to our society. See, the seeds have already been laid. They've already been laid, you see. Now, it's saying November 19th, because that's when Pluto is going to go into Aquarius and stay there. You know how the planets work like a pendulum, And this is like the last swing with Pluto going back into Capricorn before it goes into Aquarius November 19th. And now it's going to stay there for the next 20 years or 16 or whatever. are we going to witness events in our reality that are unmistakable? And when Pluto goes into Capricorn, it's going to primarily affect society, as it says. It says it's going to be a time of extraordinary developments that may change life as we know it, including new governmental structures. See, Capricorn is going to get torn down. The structure of Capricorn, because it's primarily an elite form of government, and most of us are left out. We're left out of the loop because we don't have that ability. We're not unified as a people, so we can't tell those who rule over us what to do. They tell us, although they say they serve us, but we really see that they serve themselves. See the agenda. When you remember Matthew chapter 4, he said, the kingdoms of the world, they've been given to me and the glory of them, and I give it to whoever I want. And then in the New Testament, it said Jesus, he didn't take that offer. So, some people did, and they are the ones who are in power and authority in the earth, and they rule over men. And it's anti-creator government that we've been living under for back then until now. We don't live in a script. We don't live in a Etherian government. I mean, you brother, I'm telling you that you don't already know, But here, I wanted to focus on this is when Pluto goes back. When they go into Capricorn, it's going to be like the last hurrah. Now, I mentioned the port workers. That's a powerful, powerful union, okay? And if they went out on strike yesterday, if they stay out on strike, we're going to feel it, okay? It's like resources are going to get more and more. For real. They ain't going to be unloading barrels of oil. They ain't going to be unloading products. They ain't going to be unloading food. You see what I mean? Stores and supply chain is going to be broken, and things are going to skyrocket. The port workers, they on strike. See, this is a vibration. This is Pluto going back into Capricorn, and now all of a sudden we got this big vibration. Now, I know nobody cares because it's boring, it ain't really affecting us now. We got problems of our own. So that's how these type of things, they slide under the radar and people don't get prepared for it. But Faithists, they know this goes along with a form of aging, that density that causes men to take violence and corruption and evil to the next level. It gets thicker and thicker, and then it's harder to hear the light. It's harder to hear it, man. It's harder to see it. Density. When you turn the light off in a room, that's aging. Actually, it's not aging because you can see a little bit, a little bit. When we were in that time of Gia, where the pandemic and the diseases, and if that sister is listening, I found that verse that I told you I was going to look for, where the OAHSPE, it talked about inoculations. Now I forget exactly. I think I posted it in my room. I'm gonna go to my room and show the things that I posted. I think I found it. I posted it in my room, and I'm referring to a sister I talked to. There she is. She here. There you go, sister. You made it. Yes. Good for you. Good for you, sis. I'm glad to see. I enjoyed talking with you last night. That was, you just hit me with a lot of stuff, the sisters in Aquarius, and you just hit me with a lot of Aquarius yesterday, you watered my soul. Aquarius, water bearer, they're good for watering your soul, man. They can say things to you. They have a perspective. We talked about deep things, we talked about love, and I shared some deep things with her, like how the air signs are the least disposed to people of all the signs. We're the least disposed. Hey, Mahalia, sister, good to see you. I'm glad you made it. Thank you, Mahalia. Yeah, Serpenta Armish, Cosmonian goddess. But getting back, Sarah, that point about when I was mentioning the air signs and our characteristics and how we are the least disposed towards people, we're really detached type of people where we could learn something from the other signs so far as connectedness to people. And then the sister, she said, but there's glory in our detachment too. And then she mentioned how we do things and we're not attached. And it's a lot of times attachment is what blunts your spiritual elevation, because it brings, you could fall into like different attacks of this, depression, keep you from letting your light shine and, being your best self. It's because of your attachment to things, but there's the positive and the negative to everything, and that part, when you said that, sis, I mean, that to me was anointed. You said some other things that it's a shame that I couldn't record that conversation, um, I'm going to, not right now, but I'm put the link on the room so that if you want, you can come on, we can have a little dialogue. And right now I'm just going through my part of my video where it's like do a little house cleaning, and then at the top of the hour, I do a reading of the word. And then at the end, I try to open it up and see if brethren want to come on and like have a conversation. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in the room now, Sarah. If you want to, we can't have a long conversation though, like last night, and we got to be real careful to tie what we say to the OAHSPE. Okay, I can't go on like last night. So if you decide you want to come on and we have a little conversation or whatever, you're gonna have to understand if I cut it short so that I can get to the normal process of the conversation. I'm gonna put the link in the room. If you decide to come on, it's up to you. I can't do it like we did it last night, where it's we really went long. We got to have our conversation's got to be real brief and concise, and it's got to be full of OAHSPE. I like to, I don't want to throw a lot of esotericism at my brethren who are looking at this video, because not everybody's on the same level, but there's a link. If you click on it, it'll bring you in. And so now I want to get back real quick to port workers. And that's one of those companies, man, when they go on strike, that here, let me bring it up. Let me show you on the screen. When these brothers go on strike, man, port workers strike. I'm telling you, man, when these dudes go on strike, we will feel it. And I think that the Creator is somewhere behind this. Okay, so they agreed on a deal. See, they shut that down real fast. So I didn't know it. They ended the strike. Okay, so that's good. See, they can't let that go on. They can't let that go on. So, okay, they shut it down. But that still don't mean that Pluto going into Capricorn won't have some sort of effect. It just means that there's something on the horizon that we don't know of. This could be like a warning shot. See, they ended that real quick, They ended that real quick, Let me see. Sarah, she said attachment causes pain. We are attached to the feeling of being loved and loving. See, this is the flavor of the conversation me and this sister had last night. I mean, it was just a bombshell, man. I knew it was going to go in that direction too. When I found out her vibration, I know what type of conversations I have with Aquariuses, and it was exactly what I expected it to be. She gives a little sample. She says, attachment causes pain. We are attached to the feeling of being loved or loving, and when not attached, when you love directly, and that is unconditional love. Yeah, saying that air signs is like we're more likely to express the love that we show from people, the world calls it, they say we're detached, and we are, but we are able to keep a level. um, Click on the link, Sarah. Click on the link, that should bring you in the room. But we can't go on. We gotta You gotta be brief. We gotta be brief with each other, and we gotta try to stay close to the OAHSPE, okay? Because I gotta consider the brethren who see this video, and a little too much esotericism, it could turn brethren off. So when you click on the link, then that should bring you into the studio, and I'll bring you on, just to let you know. So anyway, they ended the strike. So how do you like that? See, they wasn't going to let that go on for too long. But I think that it's a warning shot that we are in for Capricorn. The Capricorn system is going to suffer some body blows. It's the structure of it, the government that we are used to. So anyway, that's that for the economic front. Now, let me go to my room, because and then share like some things that I've been trying to, some things that I have been sharing in the room on Facebook, the room on Facebook. Now, again, my mom's food ministry, where I try to target orphans, disabled, and elderly, where I can be contacted, my room. And then other brethren, they have rooms too. And I like to show their rooms. So these are rooms, if someone is new, then you can join these rooms right here. And then, these are OAHSPE brethren who subscribe to the OAHSPE. And then here's another room. You can subscribe to that. Did I show the last room? I think I did. This is the room. I think I did share it. Let me make sure. Do it again. So if anybody sees this video, these are rooms that you can join. And, I just try to, me and other brethren, just try to share things from an OAHSPE point of view to encourage brethren, that sort of thing. So here's my room. Now I'm going to share some things that I've been sharing that I hope bless you, bless your soul. Now here's a verse right here. Make sure you can see that. Okay. All right. Now here's a verse that let me see. Sarah, what do you got? He says, this site can't be reached. Really? Why is that? You mean the link isn't working? You can't get into... You beats me. Why it would say that? You should be able to just click on the link. It could be on your end somehow. You should be able to just click on the link, and then it brings you backstage, and then I just click on you and you come on. I don't know what the problem is. It seems like other brethren, they could just click on the link. They have no problem getting on. So I don't know what to tell you, sis. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what the problem could be. I'm sorry it's giving problems. Technical. I'm not surprised, because powers that be probably don't want you coming on and dropping them bombs that you got. I'm for real, too. I believe that type of spiritual warfare really goes on. This type of message, like we were talking last night. Let me see. Oh, okay, so are you backstage, Alan? Let's see if you're backstage. I don't see you. If you click on that link, it should bring you up, and I click you onto the video. I don't see anything, so I don't know what's going on. So just keep working on it, and when it works, when it brings you in, I will make a sound. I'll bring you on. All right. So here's a verse that I posted from the OAHSPE, and then I went and asked AI to translate it. Now here's a verse right here. It says, "It is wiser for the spiritual minded to keep to themselves." It says, especially when communing with Jehovah and his angels. It says, for a greater wonder than these will follow. Some will enter the trance of the first resurrection and go in spirit and out of the body, but only subjectively. Now that's very interesting right there. It says others will enter the trance of the second resurrection and will go in spirit out of the body objectively. I'm explaining subjective and objective in the response of AI. It says, and the first shall not believe the second. It says, and the first shall not believe the second. The first resurrection shall not believe the second. And the first shall not believe the second was other than like himself, going only subjectively. For I've created a light, no two men in all the world, says Jehovah. Even after death, many are not capable of entering the second resurrection objectively. How do you like that? He said, he who is in subjective state speaks and writes from the earth looking upward. That's the subjective state of mind. He says, he who comes of the objective heavens. Look at this. He speaks and writes as one, come down from my kingdoms to the earth. So it's like the earth is strange to him. He goes about, he said, man, it's not like this where I come from. This ain't the spiritual. What are you guys doing, man? You're not supposed to be doing this, that, or where's the knowledge of the creator? That's the objective brother or sister. He's got to object. We have faithists have an objective mind. The creator is saying. He's saying he's showing you, this is a bombshell, I think. He's showing you this is what an objective mind is. This is what a subjective mind is. And YouTube is full of subjective minds and subjective spirits. So let me see. Sarah says, I'm here and hearing both. Bring me in, please. Well, I can't do anything because, okay, it did bring you up. Oh, okay. Can you hear me okay, Sarah?
I can. Yes.
Your mic is muted.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Your mic is muted.
My mic is muted. Aha. No, my mic is not muted. I can hear you. Maybe I need to turn it up, but no. Can you hear me? Maybe have stuff over my mic. Anybody there? Can you hear me?
So
well, let me see here.
I don't know what to tell you. Can you hear me? You can hear me okay. If you can hear me, put up a 1.
I hear you fine.
Okay.
I hear you fine.
I can't hear.
But you don't hear me.
So, Chuck says he hears you. My brother, ain't that a trip? So it's on my end. You can hear both of us.
Oh, good.
I can't hear her. What the hell is going on here?
Well, maybe you're listening from YouTube and not from.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Sarah.
Here. Oh, but there's a chat here. I'll chat. Okay.
What the hell is this?
Yeah.
All right, brother. Let me see. Let me do a little dancing here. Let's find out. Let me try to see if I can.
Ta-da.
What the
hell?
Look
in the chat.
Now?
Look in the chat.
Testing. I'm not looking at the chat. I'm trying to.
No, look at the chat.
Find out what's. Okay, say something, Sarah. Can you hear me?
Hi, something. Hello, everybody. Nice to be here.
I figured it out.
What was it?
I figured it out. I had to set the setting. I had to do the setting. See, That's how the creator worked, That's I'm telling you, man. Fritz, brother Fritz. Welcome to the room, bro. Always good to see you. Flips. Good to see you, Chuck. All right, so I just went to the settings. I'm not technically savvy at all. I went to the setting and see that's how the creator, he gives you the inspiration when you need it to. I believe that at any particular time you need an answer, he give it to you. And you just witness a little bit of it. I didn't know what to do. I just went to settings, didn't know what I was doing, and said, click on this, clicked on it, and that's the way I see the creator. He does things like that a lot. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Can you do me a favor and scroll down just a little bit so I can do a screenshot of what you have written up there? Because I was fooling around, so I didn't get to really hear the whole thing.
What do you want me to do? I'm gonna change your name.
Scroll down so I can see what you have written that's highlighted.
I'm gonna change your name to Rapunzel. How's that?
That's perfect. It works.
You know why, right?
Okay, yeah. I want to screenshot that.
You know why?
Okay,
you know
and
why?
Now you can scroll up.
You know why I'm gonna change your name to Rapunzel, right?
Well, I know why. Nobody else knows why.
Why? Go ahead and say it.
Well, because my hair is to the just below my calves.
It's down to your ankles, isn't it?
Well, not quite, but getting close.
Okay, now this is not the verse.
Now scroll up a little bit. Scroll up now so I can get the other half.
Okay, this is something that I put in. Okay, this is the verse, and then this is AI right here. This part right here is
Perfect.
AI.
Thank you.
I didn't get to it yet. I was going to get to it. Now this part is where it explains it, and it talks about the subjective and the objective mind. I thought it was fantastic, man. Because Creator is showing you. I mean, if we want to make the second resurrection, he's saying that basically think this way. Look at your reality from the spiritual to the corporeal. Does it make sense? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you come from another country, you come to America, and then you see the way America is, and you say, wait a minute, it ain't like this in my country, where I come from. The Creator is saying that's the objective mind. And then he says the subjective mind is where you go from, well, let me see. I think I might have said that wrong. It's like you speak of the earth, you know what I mean? And the earth determines your spirituality. That make any sense? That's the subjective mind. You with me? You understand what I'm saying?
Kind of.
Objective and subjective. Anyway, you jump in when you can, or if you want, let me go through it. Let me try to make some sense out of it.
I'm trying to understand it myself, so I may have questions more than answers.
All right, well, let me try. Let me see if I can get somewhere then. So here is talking about, I forget where I pulled this from. I think it might be Inspiration. I forget what book, or Judgment. It says, it is wiser for the spiritual minded to keep to themselves, especially when communing with Jehovah and his angels. It says, for greater wonder than these will follow. It sounds like meditation, if you ask me. And then it says, some will enter the trance of the first resurrection. Now, that's like a mystery where I think he's saying they're basically, brethren speak of the earth more than speak of the spirit. I mean, the knowledge is primarily of the earth. It's kind of like walking a fine line trying to explain this. I believe I get it, but it's hard to explain. But it's saying here, the first resurrection is like the focus is on your knowledge primarily comes from the earth, the earthly perspective. You got an earthly perspective. Like you see a lot of videos on YouTube where they talk a lot about, there's a lot of what they call vicarious living, where you follow people on the earth, or you point out the negative actions of the people in your reality. You look at the things as a whole. And in other words, your perspective is very, so far as seeing the kingdom as opposed to the earth. You see more of the earth than the kingdom. Does that make any sense? No?
It looks to me like it's talking about mind out of body, whether it is a death experience, a near-death experience, or leaving your body at will, or even during meditation. Because sometimes in the OAHSPE meditation, we do talk about going from one resurrection to the other level, of which I can't say I understand. So that's why I'm looking at this, trying to understand it.
Yeah, it's kind of, it is kind of involved, and it's kind of, it is heavy, but I can get a little bit of it.
And if you take a look at it.
Huh?
Well, if you take a look at it where it says, out of the body, whether it's in death or not, because sometimes when people leave the body, they don't make it beyond the next resurrection. And they don't even make it off this plane. And sometimes they jump into another body because they're not even aware that they're dead. So what they're talking about, different levels, I mean, I don't know for sure, but it looks to me like you can do it either alive or even after death. It's kind of, some people can make it and some people can't.
There's some brethren, like I'm thinking of one brother in particular, Brother Dave Long. He comes on the video a lot, and he talks about astral projection, leaving his body, going into the spiritual. And I know that there are people who do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is what is being addressed here. There are some people, they will enter the trance of the first resurrection. Let me see what a good synonym for trance is, so I can translate that word. Synonym for the word trance. They go into a daze, they go into a stupor, they go into a haze, they go into a hypnotic state, half-conscious state, dream, daydream, suspended animation. Okay, so we got a definition of trance. So it says, where's the part that I want? It says, some will enter the trance, the stupor, the daze, let's see.
To tell you the honest truth, I'm not liking any of those definitions for trance. What about you?
Well, shoot, I clicked off of it. Oh, here we go. I think it's sufficient. Daze, you go in a trance, you go into it. Well, let me see. Daze, a stupor.
Yeah, trance is
not those.
It's not a stupor. It's not a haze.
Not a daze,
It's none of those.
In other words, I think it's a hypnotic state. You know what I mean? I think
that's a trance. A hypnotic state makes and even a what's it called? Like when you're in between dream, it starts with an L. When you're in between a dream state and reality, or even to me, it's when you dip into theta, for example.
Dream state.
Lucid, that's the word. Hey, that was a game show. Thank you. So,
yeah.
So what? But it and even lucid dreaming is not a trance. Mediums go into a trance. But you can go into a trance when you're meditating. Mm-hmm. And trance is it's a state of mind. A trance is a state of mind.
Yeah, I can live with hypnotic state. It says some will enter the hypnotic state of the first resurrection. And the first resurrection it's
not a hypnotic state.
It's like division. It's like chaos.
It's a meditative state. It's a meditative state.
Okay, whatever. Meditative state. Some will enter the meditative state of the first resurrection. Then the first resurrection.
Not even that.
Is from what I understand, the first resurrection is primarily the resurrection of self. You know what I mean?
Isn't it also a certain level of angels in OAHSPE? The first level, there are angels there.
I think so. I can't really name them. I mean,
Me neither.
I seem to think so. I mean, I think I look at it like they're righteous and unrighteous. But let me go on. It says, some will enter the meditative state of the first resurrection. So it sounds to me like some, they go into the meditative state and they go to the first resurrection. And the first resurrection is the resurrection of self. But in other words, it's the opposite the second resurrection, which is unity and community. At least from what I can see in the OAHSPE. Second resurrection is like people working together for the king, for the creator. The first resurrection sounds more like people working for themselves, focused on themselves. It says some will enter the trance of the first resurrection and go in spirit out of the body, but only subjectively, meaning it sounds like it's kind of you can just imagine things so well that it actually manifests. It sounds like what it's saying. And then it says others will enter the trance of the second resurrection. So it's like they are tapped in to the vibration of the will of the creator. They're under that influence. And then they go into a meditative state and they go out of the body into the realm, the second resurrection, where there are brethren who are unified and they're a community and they are in the will of the creator, if that make any sense. But from what I've learned in the OAHSPE, that's what the first and the second resurrection is.
And I might add, where I'm getting some of my information, because I really, when I first read it, didn't understand it at all. And of course, that was a long, long time ago. But from what I get when we are doing the meditation, and I have been meditating every Saturday night since 2000, towards the fall or beginning of winter in December of 2017, and every Saturday night. And so sometimes they mention, because this is like they've been in OAHSPE for, well, Joy was born into OAHSPE, and Joan is 93, and she's been in OAHSPE for many, many decades. So and so from what I hear, and especially from Joan, when she mentions, whether someone's in the first resurrection or the second resurrection, and that we're going to that state of whether we're at the second resurrection. And so I've heard them, when in our meditation, that is maybe the objective, is to go at least to the second resurrection. And so what this is also saying is that you can do this whether you're alive or dead.
Yeah, I agree.
And the person to ask would be Joan.
Well, we got a brother in the room. I don't know if he's here, Dave, where he certainly knows about these things too. He experiences them. So I don't know if he's here. He'll check in if he is. So.
And you should be able to go out to the universe and commune with millions.
So let me see. Let me read the rest. It says, others will enter the trance of the second resurrection and go in spirit out of the body objectively. Sounds like at will.
Mm-hmm.
And the first shall not believe the second was other than like himself. So the first resurrection will believe that their resurrection is the only resurrection. It says the first shall not believe the second was other than like himself, going only subjectively in his own mind, his own imaginations, his own power, it sounds like. It says, but the Creator says, for I've created alike no two men in all the world, says Joby. Even after death, many are not capable of entering the second resurrection objectively. How do you like that? That's the power of the state of mind you're in. It says
perception.
Yeah. It says, he who is in subjective state speaks and writes from the earth, looking upward. Now, this is the tricky part right here. It says, he who comes of the objective speaks and writes as one come down from my kingdoms of the earth. Now, here's AI, the explanation.
Mm-hmm.
And at this time, I usually go into the reading of the word. So I'm going to have to do a little summary of this, and then I'm going to break and then go into the reading of the word, Sarah, just to let you know, okay? Can you hear me?
I hear you. Oh, I was shaking my head up and down.
Oh, okay. I didn't. All right. So real quick, here it is, the breakdown according to AI of what we just read. It says, the excerpt from the document, let me see how you says, I believe the ladies she mentioned are in our, that's what she was talking about. Joan and Joy, she was talking about the sisters in our group, our online group, and the first, their understanding of the first, second resurrection. Now, here it says, the excerpt from the document emphasizes the significance of individual spiritual experiences and the differences between the first and second resurrection. It suggests that those who are spiritually inclined should prefer solitude when seeking communion with Jehovah and his angels. This piece also points out that there are two distinct experiences related to the resurrection. Two distinct experiences, it says, related to the first and second resurrection. Objectivity and subjectivity. It says the first resurrection, individuals experience this stage engage with spiritual matters from the earthly perspective, viewing their surroundings from the earth and looking upward. This means they're not fully aware or capable of understanding the broader spiritual realm. That's a mind-blowing thing to me, because it helps me to see things differently when I look at videos and I listen to where people are coming from. To me, it's easy to see where if they're coming from a subjective point of view or an objective point of view. I mean, it really helps me to discern where somebody's coming from. And I would say that probably 80-90% of the world is subjective, if you ask me. And then it says the second resurrection, which is the objective resurrection. Conversely, individuals entering this state, they can interact with and understand the spiritual realm more fully. They are described as speaking and writing as if they have descended from the heavens, possessing a greater understanding of spiritual truths. And then in conclusion, it says the passage further conveys Jehovah's message that each person is uniquely created, implying their inherent differences in spiritual abilities and awareness even after death. Thus, the capacity to engage with the objective heavens, the second resurrection, is not uniformly available. Mm-hmm.
I want to get their opinion on it. Is there a way to get a copy of that? What AI came up with, and the first part?
You can just copy what I got here, because that's what it gave me.
Well,
if I were you, I would just copy and paste.
Let me take a picture of it then. Let me take a picture of it.
Yeah, just copy and paste this and then put it in a AI.
Oh, copy and paste. Oh, that's smart. Oh, no, copy and paste. That's brilliant. Yeah. Okay.
And then you can just put it in different machines.
Okay, unhighlight it so I can highlight it, and then I'll copy and paste the whole thing.
Okay. And then it'll be interesting because you can put it in different AI and then see what they come. I only use one, but I'd like to put it in another and see what it comes up with.
It's not letting me highlight. It's not letting me highlight.
Okay, well, open up the.
So why don't you copy and paste it and then send it to me?
Okay, and you could do this too. You can go to the OAHSPE. You can go. I didn't put the book down here. I usually do, but you can go here. Let's look at it.
And I didn't. You know what? I have 2 OAHSPE books, and I didn't bring either one with me on my trip. They're up in another part of the country. And by the way, everybody, I am in the country of Belize, which is just south of the Yucatan, and I'm right across the street from the Caribbean.
Okay. So
Literally.
let's get the link.
So you know how I can make a copy of that?
That's why I'm opening up the OAHSPE.
Or if you copy and paste it, you can put it in the chat, and then I can probably copy and paste it.
I don't know if you can, but hold on a second. Hold tight, because what I'm trying to do is give you the book where this is at. Okay, now let me see. This is book 32. This book 32 is chapter 2, verse 13. So which one is book 32? And it's chapter 2, verses 13. Okay, so hold tight for a second. Let me get it for you. All right.
But keep in mind, I don't have the book with me.
Yeah, I know. I'm just going to first bring it up, and then I'm copy and paste it. Yeah. And I don't think you'll be able to copy and paste it in the room, but I'll.
No, but you can copy and paste what you had written there, and just paste it in the chat, and then I think I can copy it from the chat and put it in my Word. Or I don't have Word, but whatever I have.
Yeah. Hang tight. Let me do this first. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, here it is right here.
Oh, there. I see what it's talking about. It.
Okay. So.
Wow.
Now, this cool. is the book of judgment. All right. This is the book of judgment.
So if I might share with everybody something that you were just talking about, how fast things are manifested when you put it out there and how fast it comes back. I have just put it out there that I wanted to understand this. And here it is. That's how fast it comes.
Okay, so it's Book of Judgment, chapter 2, verse 13. Now, if I copy and paste it, I don't think it'll put it in one paragraph. I think it'll break it up. So let's see. Let's see if it'll work. Now,
Book of Judgment 32:2.
Okay, I just put it in the room and it breaks it up, but I don't think you'll be able to copy and paste it. See, it's got like 5 different paragraphs.
I can copy and paste the whole thing if it's in the chat.
Okay, so I just put it in the chat.
Well, I don't see it.
Okay, does anybody see what I just put in the chat? Is the link, maybe the link? Let me see about
comments. Aha.
Does anybody?
I had it on private chat. Okay. So, so I just have to do each one of these individually? Or I can do the whole thing? No, I can do the whole thing. What do you mean? I can do the whole thing? Oh, wow. I'm going to do the whole thing. Let me see.
Okay.
I'm going to do better than that. I'm going to do since.
Now it's time for the reading of the word. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna read the next paragraph of what I posted here real quick before I turn to the reading of before I turn to the video subject. Now it says, verse 14: 2 conditions will manifest. Subjective spiritualists will affiliate with the world's people, being deniers of the ever-present person. So we get a little more detail of the subjective people and objective people. And it says 2 conditions on earth will manifest. Subjective spiritualists will affiliate with the world's people, being deniers of the ever-present person. So you got people who are able to project themselves and they deny the creator. They deny him. And I think I've met people like that. They were able to astrally project, and they don't subscribe to the creator. That blows my mind, you know. And I think that's what it's saying here. And then it says, and they will pursue earthly vocations for self's sake. See, that's why they can't make it out of the first resurrection. Because they will pursue earthly vocations for self's sake. It says, but objective spiritualists, being those who live for the Spirit's sake, will be faithists. Believers in the ever-present person. Jehovah, whom they will worship, not only in words, but by abjuring self. Remember, we talked about that last night, Sarah? Self-abnegation.
Mm-hmm.
And uniting themselves in brotherhoods for the sake of doing good to others. These latter are the chosen people of the Father, the cosmic era, and they will become supreme in all the world. How do you like that? How do you like that? Then it says, these three peoples, the world's people, the believers and the faithists, have existed in all ages of the world. Of them all, only the faithists practices harmony and good works. Both of the others are resistants, quarrelers, warriors, disintegrators, and breakers down of all things. I didn't expect to read this. This is just knocked out, man. Boy, this is knocked out, man. Creator, he really breaks people down, man. He breaks them down. Look here. He says, yet the faithless, having faith in the all person, shall ultimately possess the whole earth. How do you like that? And make it a paradise of peace and love. As the first is bound in the flesh, and as the second is bound by the hated spirits. Now, I forget the hated spirits. I forget what that is. It says, so is the faith is bound to Jehovah, which is emancipation, freedom. As the second can commune with the spirits of the first resurrection, so can the faithless commune with the Father through the second resurrection. It says, nevertheless, this shall happen. The second shall say, my angels are high, yours are low. Or they shall ask, how do you know your light is higher than ours? So it says, let me read it again. It says, nevertheless, this shall happen. The second shall say, my angels are high, yours are low. Now, who's the second? Who says this? Or they shall ask, how do you know your light is higher than ours? So who's asking what? Is it the first that is saying, the second shall say, my angels are high, yours are low? Or is it the first who are saying, or they shall ask, how do you know your light is higher than ours? Sound like the first resurrection will ask these questions. First resurrection. Nevertheless, this shall happen. The second, now it says the second here, but I think it's putting the first resurrection as the second group of people. Or otherwise, it don't make too much sense. I don't know. Y'all have to decide. It says, and the faithless shall answer them, saying, oh, okay, so it is the first resurrection. The first resurrection says this. They say, my angels are high, yours are low. Or they shall ask, how do you know your light is higher than ours? And it says, the faithless shall answer them, saying, we know no high, no low. We give up all things in order to serve Jehovah by doing good works to our fellows. And Jehovah shall judge between them as to which is high or low. Not by their words, but by their works. And the signs of good works and self-abnegation shall be like a witness before the world as to where the inspiration of each comes from. How do you like this? What this, man, thank you, Creator. I didn't expect to read this. This is knocked out, man. Boy, listen to this. It says, let no man say that only seers, prophets, and those persons who work signs and miracles are under the influence of spirit. For even as much as these, so are other mortals under the dominion of spirit. Yes, the infidel, the disbeliever, the philosopher, the lawyer, the judge, the preacher, the fanatic, and all others are more controlled by the spirits of the dead than by their own personal spirits. And the more a man's spirit is wrapped up in his own corporality, the more he is subject to vampires and spirits of darkness. The more vain you are, the more self-focused you are. The danger is being influenced by druids, vampires, spirits of darkness. It says, nor does the philosopher know whether his ideas come from Jehovah or from spirits of the dead. How do you like that, man? The philosophers. How do you like that, man? What time period of man produced the most philosophers? The Enlightenment. Watch. There are several periods in history that produced many philosophers. The Enlightenment, see? The Enlightenment. It was an intellectual movement in the 17th and 18th centuries. And so here, the creator, he's saying that many of them are where's the OAHSPE? It says that, nor does the philosopher know whether his ideas, they don't know if their ideas come from Jehovah or from spirits of the dead. Only way you can tell by reading them and seeing what their conclusions are. So creator, Jehovah, he's saying that probably most philosophers, they come from the first resurrection, meaning they're under the spirits of the dead. But then it says, verse 24, whoever has witnessed and knows in truth that he has seen spirits of the dead, that knowledge is impregnable. Now, the footnote, it says impregnable, it means beyond doubt, irreversible, undeniable, irrefutable, indestructible, permanent. So, OAHSPE says, whoever has witnessed and knows in truth that he's seen spirits of the dead, that knowledge is impregnable. It's certain, it's sure. He says, and whoever has entered the second resurrection, even though in mortality, that knowledge is impregnable. He says, but whoever has found the all person, his knowledge is greater than all. And none below him can judge him. Neither can any man attain to his knowledge till he has passed through the other two conditions. This is super interesting, man. These are ways we can look at ourselves. Creator is he's showing us how we can look at ourselves. Basically, if we subscribe to the earth or the creator. And the fruit is what comes out of our lips, mostly our actions. No man knows the creator unless the communion of spirits. No man knows the creator unless he has proven the communion of spirit. Now, how do you, that's serious right there. He says, no man knows the creator unless he has proven the communion of spirits. Neither can any man rise to the second resurrection until he's risen to, the faith in the all one. That's communing with the spirits. Faith in the all one. Faith and works, basically. Faith born out by works.
This is also open to interpretation. Faith in the all one and all one. We are all one. And that's the part we've forgotten.
Yeah.
Faith in the all one and faith that we are.
But we are all, but not all believe in the creator too, even though we're all one in the sense that we're human, that the creator calls all the living his children, but we're not unified. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? It's like he's saying here, no man knows the creator unless he has proven the communion of spirits. Neither can man rise to the second resurrection until he's risen in faith in all one. And not all men have faith. So it requires a little bit of interpretation here.
Well, and remember that this was written in an older type of English. And so it changes just a hair when it's changed into modern English.
Probably, I don't know. I can imagine that that's right.
And then it's open to interpretation. But I think it's interesting, the next line.
But it should harmonize with the rest, It should harmonize with the rest of the message. Whatever the conclusion is, so far as faith in the all one Jehovah, It says, nor shall the Brahmin, Mohammedan, Buddhist, or Christian join the second resurrection on earth or in heaven.
That's
I like
that's
that.
the interesting part right there.
Isn't that something?
And that kind of explains what that second resurrection is. So,
Yeah.
so that, you know, there's this difference when the first level, and you know, because I'm in my mind the references that Joan and all of them, that, you know, there's only a handful of us that do it, but they have more knowledge about it than I do. So, you know, and I'm just remembering things they say about the first resurrection versus the second resurrection. So this is giving me a little bit more understanding about it. So I'm going like, wow.
Uh-huh. Well, another thing you see here in verse 27 is division.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well, no, because they are coming from division. Every single one of those are coming, the Brahmin, the Mohammedan, the Buddhist, the Christianity, they're coming from division.
Well, I think we're saying the same thing. I mean, it's division because it's been
because they
hijacked.
think they're the ones, and they're dividing themselves from the whole, from Yahweh.
Uh-huh. Well, they started out righteous. I mean,
exactly.
You know, Brahmin, Mohammedan, Buddhist, Christian, these started out, and the progenitors are listed in the OAHSPE. So they started out right, you know, and then they got hijacked.
Mm-hmm.
All the beast kingdom, it got hijacked so that we are where we are today.
You know, it's like the information that came down to Muhammad was good, pure. It's what did he do with it? All of a sudden, because he gave that information to the rabbis. He said, look what I got, you know, and he said, it's really, and he was following the Jewish laws. And he went to the rabbis and he gave them the Quran for a couple of weeks. He says, I'll be back in a couple of weeks. He comes back and he says, well, what do you think, rabbis? He said, well, it's really great, Muhammad, but there's nothing new. This is all in the Talmud. So he said, well, if you don't follow me, well, we'll just kill you. So right there's the division. Mm-hmm. Right there, he takes the good information that is solid, sweet, and what they're based on, and causes a division. And then when he dies, there are two people that feel that they should be in charge. They should be followed. So again, they're divided among each other, and they're still fighting today. Mm-hmm. They can't agree on together. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying it's this divide that's happening. Divide.
Once man gets a hold, once he gets a hold of spirituality, you know, at some point,
and then it's no longer spiritual.
Yeah. Then he all he knows to do is seek exercise, you know, create a way to give himself power over his brethren and divide. And so now we got what we got now. It says, for they have not the doctrine of unity. It says that Brahmin, Mohammedanism, Buddhist, or Christian, they do not have the doctrine of unity, for they do not have the doctrine of unit. It says they are as a house divided against itself. Their colonies.
That's what I just said, isn't it?
Yeah. Their colonies and communities shall fail in all cases. It says there shall only be one doctrine, which is Jehovah, the all-person, who is ever present with good works done to others with all of one's wisdom and strength. It says, and this shall
all for prevail. One and one for all. That's what it is, really.
Yeah. And it says, and this shall prevail with the young, whom as orphans and castaways shall gather up in infancy, founding them in the light of Jehovah, teaching them from the start to sing and pray to him in reverence, fear, joy, so that he may be glorified in purity and good works. And they shall be of all nationalities and races, growing up not knowing this is mine or that is yours, but understanding that they own nothing and that all things are Jehovah's. You know what's interesting is Klaus Schwab, that statement he made. You know who Klaus Schwab is, right?
I do, yeah. What statement did he say now?
Huh?
I said, I know who he is. What statement did he say now?
He said, you will own nothing and be happy. You remember
Okay,
that?
so now that's interesting because that is absolutely true, but there's a perspective of who says it and what the intention behind it is.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think he's under OAHSPE, but
Oh my God, no, he's under the World Economic Forum.
Yeah.
And he's absolutely the other side.
They got a suspect agenda, that's the problem. And
and what everybody needs to be aware right now is that agenda has just gotten passed through the UN. Yes, it just this week, and they did it through. They didn't even vote on it. They didn't even have to vote on it. If they put it out there as a policy and nobody objects or says anything, they put it right into policy. And it was the World Health Organization will now have the right to declare a state of emergency.
I'm not surprised,
Well, this is probably worse than the strike. This would be worse than a Dockers strike, and it's already done.
Yeah, but like I said, like I was saying last night, I'm kind of, I'm over the bombast, I don't know what a good word is for the corruption of the earth. I know that nothing shocks me anymore. The agenda of the unelected governing bodies in this reality. I mean, they've already shown, man, that they're capable of anything when it comes to power, when it comes to, but they doing some interesting things, man. I'm talking about the powers that be, these different governing bodies. They're not elected yet. They got power with people. Like that one guy, the guy who's over the World Health Organization, and how he came out and said that he basically said, we got to stop flesh food. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
He said that they have to stop flesh food, meat, animal meat. How do you like that? How do you think that'll go over with the world?
Well, and we have to take a look at who really owns the World Health Organization, and that is Bill Gates.
Yeah, that's true. And
he's buying all the land. He's got more land than anybody else right now, and he's growing this weird food.
Yeah, see there?
Weird.
It's
food.
like, you can see, man, the possibility of corruption and manipulation of the food source. And we talked last night about the inoculation. I forgot to show that to you.
Uh-huh.
Let me see if I can do that real quick.
Oh, but before you do that, is there any way you can, the way you copy and pasted worked? I had to do each one individually, but I was able to piece it all together. So if you could copy and paste what you just, that last part, I can copy and paste it and put it in my Word.
Okay, hold on a second. All right. I wanted to show you that one about the inoculation. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really
last night. How the OAHSPE mentions that. Now let me see. You want to copy and paste? Just go to Judgment chapter 31. That's where this comes from.
I don't have my book.
Just go to the Book of Judgment. No, wait a minute.
I don't have a book.
Chapter 2. Go to Judgment chapter 2.
No book.
Oh,
I don't have my book.
Go online. Just go online and download the OAHSPE. Go to the PDF version. That's what this is. And then just copy and paste it there, or look at it there, or whatever. Just go download it. Go to the OAHSPE PDF, download it, and then this will come up. And then you can do whatever to your heart's content. Just go online, download the PDF, and then just, that came from Book of Judgment chapter 2. What I showed you, that came from Book of Judgment chapter 2. Let me see. Now, you want me to copy and paste the whole chapter 2?
No, you already did some of it. It was just the second part.
I don't know what you mean by the second part.
Well, where you left off in this. It's okay. If it's no, go ahead. You just go ahead and I'll
Uh,
get it
let
some
me
other time.
let me try. Let me see if I can do it. Get to it real quick. It's time for the. I'm
But that
late for
was,
the
it
reading
was
of the
real
word. And,
interesting.
yeah, first, second resurrection, and people they can transport, astrally project, but it doesn't mean that they know the resurrections.
Well, what it is, there are different levels. And I think you have to, it's like once you have the knowledge, then you have to have the understanding of that knowledge before you can raise up. And so to get to that next level, what they're saying is you don't have the knowledge or you don't have the understanding of that knowledge. So you can't even see the next level. That's what it's saying. Remember, I was telling you about a book last night by Dr. Carl Wickland? There are 2 books. And his second book is really a continuation of the first one called Gateway to Understanding.
Okay, I can't go into it right now. I can't
No,
go
I
into
got
that
it through
right
OAHSPE.
now. Okay. Now here is what did you want? Because I want to do the reading, and I'm already late. Real
Well,
late.
I don't want to make you late. It was.
What part did you want here? What part did you? You said the second part. You already hit the first part. Now where
it left off, where you see in the chat, and then where you started after that.
Okay, I left off right here.
But we can do that at another time. It's okay.
Oh no! Wait a minute.
Because you'll have a copy of this, and I can get it later.
Verse 32.
Don't worry about it. Go. I want you to stay on time. Go ahead and do what you were going to do.
Okay. Are you sure? Because this is
I'm sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
I got the most important gist of it.
Okay. So just remember that what I drew that from was Book of Judgment, chapter 2. And then you download the OAHSPE PDF, then you home free.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me cover this real quick. This is the reading that I was going to do, and I really wanted to get to this because the situation in the world is at a boiling point. I mean, we in a serious situation, Now, if you want, you can jump in wherever you want. I'm going to go ahead and do the reading, and then let me see what Mahalia posted in the chat here. She said, that's why we live in a small, that is why we to live in small community. I think he's saying that's why we should or are to live in small communities. Yeah, the plan, the creator, so that we wouldn't be. I mean, I forget. I was reading that recently too about small communities and why and oh, you know what? Doggone it, Sarah! I never got to that verse about inoculation.
That I do want.
Okay, let's go for it real quick because I want you to see that where OAHSPE. Let's see, man. I hope I can. I want you to see that because I was looking for it last night, and
sure are some people I'd like to show that to.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to it right away. Let me see.
It's like they kind of glazed right over it.
I specifically put it in the chat because I wanted to, if you came on, I wanted to show it to you. Now I'm looking for it right now. It says, it's in the Book of Inspiration, that I know.
Ah, okay. That's good.
It's in the Book of Inspiration. So
one of my favorites.
Let me try to find it real quick. Okay, let's just bear with me. Let me try to find it. Yeah, I love that. I love that. The one where creator is basically saying, I know what you're up to. I know what your agenda is.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to use this to try to bring about your agenda. You're going to use that. You're going
to actually
use
says that.
No, those are my words. But let me see. I'm looking for it right now. Let's see.
While you're looking for it, what I got, it was so huge. What I
You
just
know, oh,
said.
you know what? Let me do it like this. I know how to find it quickly. This is how I can do it. Put in the word inoculation. All right. So I want you to see this. It's going to be good. And the creator is saying, I just love the way he's saying he know about the agenda of men.
Right. Because, this is a book that predicted the future. So they knew then that they were going to be doing this.
Yeah.
They knew they were going to be poisoning our food. They knew they were going to be poisoning our air. And they knew they'd been poisoning our minds.
Okay. Trying to see inoculation. How do you spell it?
INN.
Oh, it's
OC.
NN.
Yeah, inoculation. OC, ULATION.
Oh, okay. Okay, this is gonna be good right here. So I should be able to find it right away.
What do they call it in? Well, we'll see what they call it in OAHSPE.
Shoot, it might not even come up. Let's see. It's looking for it. It's searching. Doggone it. Let's see. Let me go online and make sure I spelled it right. Inoculation. Inoculation.
Did you do it with an I?
It doesn't look like it's going to bring it up. I'm doing a word search.
Well, what do they call it in the book?
Inoculation.
Oh, they do? Well, maybe I'm spelling it wrong. Maybe it's only one N.
Well, I'm getting ready to put in what I got off of the internet.
Hey, let me see what Google says.
It might, let me see, it might be one N.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe.
All right, let me see. Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay.
One N?
Check this out. Yeah, it's one N.
Okay.
Okay, now let me see. You can see the screen, right? You can see the screen, right?
Now can, yeah. I see. Oh, excellent.
Check this out. The inoculation or vaccination of flesh with poison. To save it from poison is to use the battle axe of Satan. How do you like that?
And you will not believe the argument I had with the president.
President of what?
OAHSPE. The kingdom of the Faithists. The Faithists, whatever they call it.
Of the Faithists. You mean of a brother who was the president of an organization or something? Or I know who you talk about.
Yes.
Yeah, say his name.
Yes.
But anyway, look at here. See, look at that. 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 And when an epidemic is predicted for a city, man shall dissipate the falling sea mood, and thus say, now I don't know what that means. I don't
either.
But it says the inoculation or vaccination of flesh with poison. To save it from poison is to look at that. The creator says that's to use the battle axe of Satan.
And they only say it once, and then they just glazed right over it. Oh, you know what the answer? Okay, so when we brought it up one time, Joan said, well, times have changed. Times haven't changed. That doesn't make it acceptable. They accept everything else in this book, and they just didn't pay attention to this. This, to me, is one of the most important things in this book.
It's very explosive. Hey, Tempo Wizard Beats. It's good to see you, bro. Let's see what you got here. You said broken, lost in darkness. In fact,
this is the difference. Those who are in harmony.
Hold on a second.
Remember what I said last night about being in harmony?
Hold tight for a second. I'm trying to read something. Brothers posted. Temple Wizard Beats. He says, fragmented, broken, lost in darkness, infatuated with deity worship in an unripened state of mind, fixed contemplations, beast kingdom, and releasing.
Can you make this a little smaller because it's going off the screen?
Okay, you got to stop. I'm trying to, you interrupting, and I'm trying to deal with something else. There. And you interrupted me, and I can't do it. So is that good enough right there?
I couldn't read it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's cool. It's cool. Can you read it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. He says, Beast Kingdom interlacing with the Teract being their own self only with only Satan's. Yeah, it sounds like the first resurrection to me in part. But okay, anyway, Sarah, back to you. So there's your verse right there. Actually, there's another verse too. Let's see what it says. It says, and to your enemies who happen to win battle against your people, my legions shall carry inoculation from the rotten dead. They shall carry the virus in the air to the breath of those who will not bow out to the name Lord God. So you see something there? You see anything there, Sarah?
Oh, I see more than you want to hear.
Let me see. Asherah said the work of my
the rotten dead. The rotten dead.
I'm gonna do the reading tomorrow. I'm gonna just pick it up tomorrow, and so me and you can go back and forth. And I want to hear what you see here. It's time for the end of the video anyway, so I'll do the reading tomorrow. But what do you see here? What do you got?
Okay, let's read this one.
Okay. You want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead, read it.
Okay. The part I got highlighted, you want me to read that?
Please.
Okay. It says, Ashtaroth said, the work of my legion shall be to deal with your enemies. Okay, so we jumping in the middle of a thought here. We don't got the context. Let me see if I can grab the quick context. Okay, so we got different gods here. So it sounds like they're coming up with a plan to keep mortals divided. So let's see if we can jump down to verse 10 and get some understanding.
So what book are we in here? What book are we in?
Okay, this is the Book of Wars.
Book of Wars.
Uh-huh. Okay, so let's see if we can get something out of this. It says, Asherah said, the work of my legion shall be to deal death to your enemies, O Deus. Now, I forget what Deus is, deity or false god. And, O Deus, to those who raise the name Jehovah. Okay, so Asherah, false god, her plan, his plan, or Asherah, I think it's a female goddess. It says, Asherah said, the work of my legion shall be to deal death to your enemies, O Deus, deity, demon. To those who raise the name Jehovah or Madzi or Great Spirit, my legion shall carry foul smells into their noses while they sleep, and to your enemies who happen to win battle against your people. My legion shall carry inoculation from the rotten dead. They shall carry the virus in the air to the breath of those who will not bow down to the name Lord God. How do you like that? So it's kind of like it's saying, I'm going to give and we got to be careful because YouTube, the algorithms, they look for people who talk about the.
Oh, right. Well, and I can tell you that it is passed on through breath and bodily fluids because there is HIV in it.
But the inoculation can be passed from what
That's what I just said. I'm talking about the inoculation is passed on to somebody else through breath and bodily fluid.
Oh.
That's called shedding.
Yes. You are right. Yes, you are so right.
And what are the frequencies that they're putting out? What are the frequencies they're putting out right now? The noises, the 5G technology. What are they putting out?
Yeah, that's a good point. We kind of forgotten about that because
this is a huge little paragraph.
Uh-huh. Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right. You're right. The 5G technology. See, these are things that we've forgotten about.
Not me.
At one point, because remember the videos? Remember the videos? They were showing people getting zapped through their cell phone. You remember that? And they
Oh
were
yeah.
attributing it to those 5G towers.
And they put them on top of in schools, on top of schools. They point them. Here's the funny thing: they point them to the Black communities and the poor communities, and then they say they're more prone to corona back then when it was corona, because they're being targeted. And notice they're calling Black. They're synonymous. Black communities are poor communities. They're putting them all together.
Well, so the agenda that the narrative that was in the world, the conspiracy that was in the world was that the virus was targeting minorities. But I don't know, because from an OAHSPE point of view, the OAHSPE, the creator, he talks about sending Gia. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. Do you know what Gia is? We talked about it last night a little bit.
I don't know what Gia
is. Okay, let me show you, okay?
I do see here where they're talking about sounds, that's frequency. When they're talking about sounds here, they're talking about noises, frequency. Talking about frequency.
Here, let me show you what Gia
What are they putting in our ear? Frequencies they're putting in our ears. Why we see?
Good point. See, that's good. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. That's very interesting, sis.
This is better than I thought. I mean, I always knew it was good, but I didn't know it was this good.
Good. I'm glad. Okay, now check this out. What is this? Now, what was I looking for? See, that's another thing, man. I forget easily. Now, what was I doing? Why am I going here? What was I going to show?
I don't know. Oh, it was something to do with 5G.
Damn, man, I forgot. Why? Doggone it, man. Shoot. Now, why did I go here? What word was it that I wanted to look at?
It's something about
the
noise.
Gia.
There you go. And how do you spell Gia?
It's J-I apostrophe A-Y. Oh, look, Tempo. Thanks, bro.
I remember from writing that last night, but I don't remember where I wrote it. That's interesting.
Oh, wait a minute. No, that's not right, Jaya. That's not right. It's J-I-A. J-I. But thanks, bro. I appreciate that.
J-I-A.
I think that's Brother Antonio. All right, now here it is right here. Gia, see? It coincided with the virus. It was coincided, the plague, the pandemic. You know what I mean?
I see. J.
It coincided. It's a period. It's something that comes on the earth. It's something that comes on the earth. See? See that? It's something that comes on the earth. Quite all right, brother. Thanks for chipping in. See? Check it out. Gia. That explains the pandemic. See? This is something the Creator does. And then men
I was reading that. Can you go back to that thing? Oh, okay, there.
See, men, they try to hide the Creator. But he brings these things. See, here's one verse talking about Gia. All right, here's another verse to talk about Gia. And it's mentioned 53 times. So we're going to get to a real good verse where he basically says that it's a time of pandemics, diseases, and plagues. I'm looking for it right now. See, Gia. That came from, the serpent, as it goes through its circuit, and we go through different Ethereal worlds, the Creator, he make us pass through these densities, depending on our spiritual grade. Here's something. It says, turn on Hawthorne. Lo, the twin comes. She was the puny child, but look upon her, O you gods and goddesses. Her billions come as an avalanche of GN worlds. Open your arms, oh my blood. So, okay, I don't get that. I don't know what it's saying. I can't make it out. I thought it was going to say something, but let's see. Millions of souls into the GN fields. Let's see what we got here. Can't see anything here where, let me see. I think somebody's coming in. Or, no.
I was lost.
Oh, you're coming in. I thought somebody else was coming in. You must.
No, I got kicked off. I missed all of that.
Okay, well, I was just looking at GN definitions. I'm still doing it, and I want to just show what it is. And it's going to mention that it's a time of diseases and pandemics and plagues.
Whoa.
So I just wanted to show you that it's, I haven't found the verse, the home run verse that I'm looking for. I'm looking for it. See, and then I'm going to, after this, look at aging. See, we're in the time of aging now.
We're also the first night of the Happy New Year.
Nope.
No.
Nope. Because the OAHSPE, I think somebody in the study last night was talking about the New Year. It might have been Jenny. Somebody
I'm talking about Rosh Hashanah.
No, not according to the OAHSPE.
Well, that's what I saw on my.
I know according to Judaism,
Of course, that's exactly what I'm talking
Rosh
about.
Hashanah,
no, I'm talking about Judaism.
Yeah, but that's not OAHSPE.
Doesn't matter. It's still Rosh Hashanah.
Well, okay, but for truth-wise, it matters because Crater, he says that the New Year is June 21st.
Well, yeah, but it's still okay to celebrate Rosh Hashanah just for fun.
Well, we disagree on that.
Okay. But you weren't raised Jewish.
Is the Talmud Judaism?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the Talmud is very problematic. I'm sure you probably know.
Well, because it's just a bunch of people's opinions. It's just a bunch of people's opinions. It's not the religion.
Right. Do you know
it's just a bunch of opinions.
Do you know who compiled it? It wasn't the creator?
No, a bunch of people, a bunch of men.
Right.
It's just it's just
okay.
man.
Now let me see if I could. I so far I haven't found anything.
Here we go.
I'm still looking at Gia. I'm looking for that verse where it talks about diseases and pandemics. Now,
what's this about falling from the atmospheric? Wait, go back up to that atmospheric where it's falling from the atmospheric. Falling.
Is this it?
No, but right here. Had no time for war, but now needed to use to prevent dismemberment in his own kingdom.
What do you see here? Are you reading?
Yeah. In these straits, good fortune came to him in the form of a Gia, wait, I can't read it when you're moving. A good fortune, where a good fortune came to him from the form of a Gia, a harvest falling in all the atmospherian heavens, compressing and falling, so that his lowest
you see how interesting this is? This is talking about Anuhaj. See, Anuhaj.
And who is Anuhaj?
He was a false god. And it says Anuhaj had no time for war, but now needed to use every stratagem in his power to prevent dismemberment of his own kingdom. In these straits, good fortune came to him in the form of Aegean harvest, falling in all atmospheric heavens, compressing and falling, so that his lowest grades were provided with sustenance from above. Meaning, when Aegean falls, it's a time of semi-darkness. See, check it out. Let's look at.
It's like bringing the evil ones down to help.
Yeah. Check this out. See, let's look at the definition, right? Aegea. See, it's a trip because we in this time. This time. See, Well, we just came out of it. The brother, he said that we just came out of Gia a couple of weeks ago, but we're in
Really?
age
Who said
now.
that? Who said that?
Brother Cosmic Cow. Cosmic
Oh,
Cow. You know, the brother is
interesting.
evidently the brother is gifted with a prophetical spirit. Now, here is the definition of Gia. See, he said we just come out of Gia, but we're in AG now. We've been in AG for a little while. Now, here's the definition. Here's the definition of Gia.
There we go.
See that? It's semi-light, right? So it's like the creator, he sent it, right? And it was kind of like a warning, I would think, especially when you look at
Okay,
Trump.
I actually want to write that down if that's okay with you.
Remember we were talking last night about Trump?
Yeah,
Trump,
now it's making sense.
You know, he came around at the time of Gia, right? Trump, Pence, right? His vice president's name is Pence. Trump, Pence, trumpets. And now he's running again, and his vice president's name is Vance. So you can see Trump, Pence in his name.
Yeah.
At a time when AG, at a time when Pluto are making moves. AG is war. See? That's where we are right now. See, the bottom line is an explosion. We headed for some type of explosion. That's what the point that I'm trying to make. And these are too many signs to be a coincidence. You see what I mean?
Absolutely.
Now
what is
AG?
Yeah, AG.
AG. Okay, hold on. Now AG, I don't think it's defined, but let's see.
Okay, so less dense. So it's interesting because it's saying to me is that the lower levels that are not that are let's say more satanic are of less density. And I'm going to give you, this did not really come from OAHSPE, but what's interesting is to be able to incorporate it and not only collaborate, but cooperate, kind of prove that this makes sense. What I learned many years ago was that the spirit body is denser than the physical body. Because if you note, the physical body cannot go through a wall because the wall
I think it's the opposite. It's the opposite.
No. And if you see what it says here, a dense region in etheria which sometimes descends to the earth, less is less.
Density is closer to being a solid.
That's what you think, but that's not true. It's the opposite of what you think. Because if you take a look at it, we're solid, right? We cannot walk through a wall. But a spirit body can walk through a wall because it's denser than the wall.
Spirituality is subatomic.
No, but look what it's saying right here. This actually shows exactly what I'm talking about. It's saying that the lower levels are less dense than the higher levels. So the higher your spirit is, the denser it is.
No, that's wrong.
It's not. Think about it. Think about the pure physics of it.
No. The more you elevate, it's rarefied.
But it's denser.
No.
Dense is not a bad thing. Dense is a good thing.
Let's look here. It says AG. Okay, we're looking at AG, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says it's a dense region in ethereal. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Oh.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Wait a second. Now let's.
Now, and if you go back up to Gia, go back up to Gia.
It's a dense region. Hold on. Let me take little baby steps here.
Okay.
So I can get it. It says it says a dense region in the ethereal, which sometimes descends through the earth. Okay, so It's in Ethereum, right? We pass through Ethereum worlds all the time. These are subatomic worlds we don't even know we're passing through.
Exactly.
But yet it says here that it is a dense region in Ethereum. So you know what? I mean, I have to think of it like this. When
But
you
if
have
you
like
look at the
fog,
other one,
when you have like fog, you know, it's
and we
dense.
can go through fog because we're
You know,
we're denser than the fog.
yeah.
But
But
we can't go through a
but
wall,
but but
but our spirit
you get
can.
what I'm trying to say? I mean, it's like uh, it's a good. What's a good word for it? Is it can be a covering. You know, while it's not dense the way you would think carnally dense, but it can be dense to where, say, like you can't drive through it because of the density. I mean, I'm just trying to see how it is dense, but it's not, doesn't mean it is matter, or it's not like dense like a corporeal body.
Well,
If that
see,
makes
we,
sense,
we, we think that our see, this is just because of what we've been taught. We think our
darkness
corporeal
is
body.
density. See, darkness is density, you know?
No, it doesn't say that at all. What
No,
it's
it
saying is
does say
that the
it.
darkness is
Because
less
you
dense.
watch me, it does say it. It says corporeality is like nebulae.
Go back up to the
That's
Gia.
like
Go back
beneath
up to the
nebulae.
Gia. It says semi-light substance in etheria, less dense. It's
Semi-dark.
less dense.
It's,
As the worse it is, the
wait,
less dense.
what word are you talking about?
The Gia. Go back to Gia.
Okay, go back to Gia. Yeah, I know that that's less dense.
It's less dense.
It's
And
less
Gia is
dense
worse.
because
Worse, right?
it's like
So
diseases and pandemics.
is less dense. So the
Right,
higher up you
right.
are, the more dense
Semi-light.
you are. See,
Less
this was my burning bush right here.
uh-huh,
Semi-light substance in etheria, less dense than a
uh-huh.
Gia. So
That means
see,
it's
the farther down you
lighter.
go on the totem
Lighter.
pole, the less dense it is.
It means it's lighter.
No, it's less dense
It's lighter.
because spirit, true spirit, is dense. It's
Let
denser.
me put it like this: is a 5 pound weight more dense than a 10 pound weight?
No,
There you
it's
go.
just heavier.
There you go.
Has nothing to do.
Gia
Wait,
is
it's apples and oranges. It's apples
A-
and oranges.
AG is denser than Gia, right? Right?
Um, AG is denser than well, apparently in this is
See,
less.
the
Yes,
way I'm looking at it
yes.
spiritually. I'm looking at it
And,
spiritually.
and as the way I see it, AG is better than Gia.
Okay, AG is okay. Let me explain it like this.
It's only semi-dark, and
Let me
it
let me
seems
let me. Okay, Gia is semi-light. AG is dense. All right, it's like this. Okay, it's like you go in the room, you turn on the light, right? You dim it a little bit. That's Gia. You turn down you dim it. AG is when you turn it down even more. See, and
okay.
spiritually,
I'm gonna. You might be right. You might be
yeah,
right.
spiritually, it's like, see,
But I think that we're also talking
from a
in.
spiritual point of view, Gia is like the creator's voice. It's like more audible. It's like it's audible, but barely. You know what I mean? And then when he sends AG, it's really hard. You know, the ear test, they say, can you hear this? And then they give you a frequency, right? And then you say, yeah, I can hear it. Or you press the button, you know. And then they say, can you hear this? And it's a little tiny and you can barely hear it, you know. It's like Gia is, you can hear it a little better. But AG is like, man, it's hard to, in other words, the light, when you translate it spiritually, it's like the creator, he makes the light harder to hear That's Gia. And then he makes it really hard to another, or let me use this phrase. During Gia, it's hard to attain to his voice, to hear the creator. But AG, it's really hard now because of the density of the mind of man. That makes sense?
Yeah.
He's
And
thick-headed, meaning it's hard to get the light through. He's thick-headed. He's stiff-necked, even more, because when he's in AG, he's really now more than ever, he's bound to his corporal self. He's grasping for, he sees the resources are getting more and more scarce. He's in a time of age. But for Thetis, it has the opposite effect. The light expands because they see what's going on. They know it's the creator and what he's doing. It has a dual effect. AG and Gia have a dual effect. It can cause decline or elevation. That's the way the creator, he means it. His purposes for it. Does that make any sense?
yeah, but I think, you know what? I think we're talking about two different forms of dance.
Okay, could be, I'm trying to make the point.
Yeah, because what I'm talking about, and because this is a message that came from something a long time ago. So think of it this way.
Okay.
We cannot, we're talking physics here. We're strictly physics.
Okay.
We cannot walk through a wall because we are denser than the wall. But when we leave our body, even at will, and I don't mean leave it, just as they're talking about going mind out of body, you can go anywhere in the universe instantly. You go right through the walls because you're denser than the wall. So you can go through the wall. So that's a different kind of dance. It's a different kind of dance.
Let me think. Okay, that's the key word. Okay, a different kind of dance. Okay, I get it.
But think about that. It's the opposite of what we're taught, so that people have a hard time grasping it.
Well, if you put it like that, because there is a density that can pass through solids, and then there's a density that can't.
And not only that, I had an Indian medicine man said, you cannot change the weather, but you can move the clouds. And I watched him do this because it was raining and there was going to be a football game that we were going to take his grandson to. And I saw him sit down and meditate. And he moved those clouds. Everybody thought the game was going to get canceled. He said no.
Well,
and he sat down and he moved because his spirit was denser than the cloud and could move the cloud.
That's something a lot of people, for me, I've never seen things. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that. I've never seen stuff like, it's always somewhere else, always, some other, it's always other than where I'm at that these things get talked about. So I don't doubt them. I don't deny them because you can't limit the creator and what he can do with people. But so I don't know. Maybe I can elevate and get to that level. I'd like to elevate and get to be that level where you're able to see the unseen and to have communion with the angels and that sort of thing. I believe that it'll come. But anyway, so
it might be called death. It might be called death.
Well, whether it is or not, I know that it's coming in one way or another. But I really wanted you to see that, like these two entities, Gia and AG, and how it's effective in the world today, especially AG, because it points to war, it points to destruction, it points to chaos, it points to some serious things that people don't want to talk about. You know what I mean? See, we in this time,
Can you
man.
tell me what nebula means? Can you tell me what nebula means?
That's below AG, if I'm not mistaken. Let's look at it.
Well, it says descends to the earth, then let me see.
It
Which
is a
sometimes
dense
descends to the earth,
atmosphere
then
of
nebula, but I
corporeal
don't know what
structure.
nebula means.
It is a dense atmosphere of corporeal substance.
Oh, interesting. Here, let me.
So it's listed as like I think even denser than, I think the corporal body is described as nebulae.
Well, I'm writing that down.
Described as nebulae. See, let's if we did a word study, it might help give more information. You want me to look at some words real quick?
Wait, don't move it yet. I'm just about to write the last part. It says
Okay.
C4 04.
Book 4, chapter 2, verse 8.
Of what book? Of what book? Does it say what book? How do you tell what book?
Okay, hold on a second. It's book 4, so I think it's like voice.
Oh, book 4.
I think it's like, hold on, Voice of Man, or book 4 is Book of Job. You see that?
Oh, I see.
You see how they list it? They list the book number, the chapter, and the verse.
Gotcha.
So now you want me to look at nebulae?
Sure.
You want to look at nebulae and see
Okay.
what the OAHSPE says about that?
Yeah.
Because I think it's going to talk about our bodies. It's going to equate our bodies with nebulae.
Right, because aren't we on the corporal level down here?
Yeah. Now, let's see. See, look here. Isn't this interesting? It says, my ethereal and corporeal worlds of 3 degrees of density. I created them, and I commanded man to name them. One he called Gia, one Ag, and one nebulae. Let's go down and see what it says.
Wow. Who knew it was going to relate so well?
Mm-hmm. It says, but all of them are composed of the same substance, being like the earth, but rarefied. Nor is there on the earth or in it one thing, whether iron, lead. So all saying that all these things dissolve into a form of rarefication. These elements. It says, nor is there on earth or in it one thing, whether iron, lead, gold, water, oil, or stones, that is not also in my atmospheric worlds. As I've given light to the earth, so I've given light to many of them. And all these I've commanded man to call comets. And he named them so. So now you lose me there so far as understanding. He says, and I also created atmosphere around my corporal worlds together. I made them. And then he gives us a picture. So we got different types of densities.
Whoa. Oh, whoa. You know what you're looking at there? That looks, well, because there's a vortex there. And that is like the torus energy field. And it is also like Marco Rodin's the Rodin coil that will produce free energy. And there might be a picture that's similar to that that's in the book of prophecy. What's it called? Prophecy and what's that book? Prophecy and something else? Cosmogony.
Let me see. You got the earth, and then you got levels. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And they're really 13. Yeah.
I mean, here.
But notice that's a torus energy field.
Now, wait a minute. I mean, now there's first resurrection, second resurrection, third resurrection, ethereal, nirvana, and now I don't know if this is what's being depicted here, but there's the first. Wait a minute. There's like,
what's the description underneath it? What's it say?
6. This is earth and atmosphere. Earth and atmosphere.
Earth and atmosphere.
Around my
Wow.
corporal world, a place atmosphere, whereas the earth and other corporal worlds provide a womb for the spirit of man, so that made the substance of atmosphere to be a womb for the souls of men. And Jehovah made the atmosphere. Okay, so
What book is it in?
This book, what this book is Jehovah.
Yeah.
This is Jehovah.
That we're still in Jehovah?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I gotta go back.
anyway, nebulae.
You know, when I first read this and it went right over my head. When I read this in 1979, it went right over my head. I am so much farther now than when I was then.
So concerning Gia, Ag, and nebulae, it says, the whirlwind I made as a sign of man, the way of my created worlds. As you see the power of the whirlwind gathering up dust of the earth and driving it together, know that likewise together the Gia, the Ag, and nebulae in the firmament of heaven. By the power of the whirlwind, I create the corporal suns, moons, stars. I command man to name the world. Okay, so I thought he was going to go into Ag, Gia, or nebulae, but he's not going to do it. So talks about the power.
No, but there's the vortexes right there. See the vortex? He's talking about the vortexes.
Yeah. I see that, but I wanted to look at nebulae and nail down, you know, how he is darkness. A type of darkness is what I'm looking for, trying to nail down the definition of nebulae. It says here, and he's mentioning them together, the densities, if you notice a lot. He says the clouds in the air I bring into view suddenly. By different currents of wind, I make the unseen visible and tangible to man's senses. In the same way, I cause the theory and currents to bring forth Gia, Ag, and nebula, prior to making corporal worlds. So I'm looking for something that'll describe it where he'll say it's like a form of darkness and are equated with our bodies. Because I think there is something that it talks about how our bodies are defined also as like a form of nebulae. I looked up where then I said it is true the corporal worlds are made of condensed nebulae, the corporal worlds.
I'm coming back.
But I did not see the wisdom and glory of your works. I looked, okay, so let me go to something else. Okay, a picture of the earth. Darkness. All right, so there's something where really the creator, he really calls it like it's like a darkness, and the corporal body is equated with nebulae, and it's like our inability to attain to the light, the voice of the creator in our natural form, nebulae, darkness. And so I don't know if I'll be able to find that verse I'm looking for. But I just wanted to share with you that it's you had clicked off. Let me bring you back on. So you had clicked off. You get booted a lot. I didn't know you weren't on. I was talking.
No, I just got back. I lost you a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh, that's too bad, man. I was just trying to do a quick word search and talk about nebulae and how.
Oh, good. So I didn't miss a lot because you were looking.
Well, I wanted to show how our bodies are connected with nebulae according to the OAHSPE, and basically that it's equated with the darkness even thicker than Ag from what I can see. And the period that we're in I'm just fascinated in the sense that we're in a period of time where, nobody ain't going to talk about these things, but we're going to be affected. We're going to be affected by the events that are coming on the earth. And it's going to be I think it'll be a trial of our faith. It could be, I don't know, not sure. I wonder what will become of the faithists. I think that the Creator, He's going to make our knowledge of us being faithists very important to us, or He will bring about a reality where we're going to no longer be doing a bunch of preaching. It's
Well,
going to
let
be
me ask
practice.
you, do you feel that people have to follow OAHSPE to be a faithist?
No, I think that they have to
Exactly.
exhibit. I think they have to. I think
The
they have
same
to.
qualities. It's
Yeah,
the same qualities,
yeah.
but
Because
they maybe never heard of OAHSPE.
yeah, yeah. Crater, he said that there are people in our reality who exhibit the traits, and they are his children. They might not know anything about the Creator or
Exactly.
the OAHSPE, or it's all about character, man. And how you deal with your brethren. That I can see. I talk about it all the
And your
time.
works. You'll be known from your works. You
Yeah.
know, and which is something that I saw earlier here today. And
Uh,
and the one thing that I got on a WASPy call fairly recently, like within a year,
mhm.
was they were talking about the tech tracks, or I don't even know how to say it. I know very little about it, but like, what is the original sin in their book is if you hurt somebody else's spirit.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It sounds I mean, the tech racks are all about negative
Don't
evil.
bring someone's spirit down.
Yeah, yeah. That's the way of the Creator, I mean, to not I mean to be about uh to put that type of
Love, to be
vibration.
about love.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's the way of the Creator. It's all everywhere you look, it just boils, it's real simple. It boils
That's
down
what's
to
it.
how,
It's so much simpler than what we make it.
yeah, it's like the whole way of the Creator. It's not necessarily, for what I can see, it ain't a whole bunch of knowledge. It's simply about how you deal with your brethren. Because he has plateaus where like will go to like. And that's like the highest that if you can if you can be if you can self-abnegate. Remember we were talking about that? Unconditional love. Yeah, right, Tempo. If you can self-abnegate, if you can get to that level, man, where you are selfless like that, that's the bottom line. That's all you're going to read in the OAHSPE. That's the whole thing right there. The
Mm-hmm.
more you think about it, the more you're able to practice it. Like you were saying, the more conscious that you are of it, the more power you can exercise over it. To be that way, if you can identify it, that's all that the OAHSPE is, really. How you deal with your brethren, how you deal with them, and from the inside out. That's all we can read here in the OAHSPE. Then he shows history. He shows the selflessness of the Ethereal gods. He says the Ethereal gods and goddesses, they have put down the Tetraks, which is the evil vibration of the flesh. You know, love of money, greed, and wanting to be a leader over people, and the evil tongue, and the vanity, the vain glory, and the Ethereal gods who were one-time mortals, they were able to, this seems impossible to me from this perspective, but I believe that it's certainly, did I lose you, Sarah? Are you still here?
No, I'm here. I'm listening.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Tetraks. That's really, I think the Creator, he gave us that. It's a way those are the things that we have to overcome so that we can, he got to give us something to test us. He gives us that. And you see the world. I seem to think, looking at the world, there are a lot of people who got a good handle. I mean, it's what it looked like to me over the evil inspiration, the influences. They seem to look that way, but the the Creator is not in that same number of people. It's not in their mouth. I mean, you can't really tell anyway by it. I mean,
Well, it looks to me like they're talking about building an ark.
That's pretty interesting. I think
Yeah.
I think that's what we're called to do, because certainly the earth is headed for destruction. But the OAHSPE says that won't happen till like another 70-some thousand years. But this reality where we're at right now, I don't know how long the kingdom on earth will be. I mean,
Well,
I know that
it's looking like here's that those that are meant to be are going to get on this this ark and go up with the angels or something like that. We haven't finished the sentence or the sentence because it needs to be scrolled up. But I wanted to say one thing about love for just a second. And there we go. And the Star of David. And this is my theory. It's just a theory. I'm sticking to it though. If you take a look at the Star of David, and in the center of the Star of David, you have the hexagon. And the hexagon is the chemical shape for hydrogen. And I say that hydrogen
I guess we lost you again. You still there, Sarah? Did we lose you again? I think you're frozen. I don't know if you can hear me. Your screen is frozen. Okay, so the sister's okay. There, can you hear me? Okay, so she clicked off. She'll be back on. Hold on a second, brother. So this is a sister that's part of the Bible study that I go to every Wednesday. And okay, she came back. Okay, you froze there for a minute, so we got you back.
Yeah. It has to do with my internet. It keeps switching, going from one to another, and one doesn't have very good signal, so then it goes away altogether.
Okay, so I'm listening. So go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna move away from the camera, but I'm listening. Go ahead.
Oh, did you guys hear what I said about the hydrogen molecule?
Yeah, just start all over again about the Star
okay.
David.
So the Star David. So notice this is something I feel they knew from the beginning. It is sacred geometry. When you take the Star of David, inside the Star of David is an octagon, not a hexagon, which is the molecule for hydrogen. So I say that hydrogen is the molecule of love. It is also the molecule of life. L'chaim. That's it. That's all I was going to say. It has really very little to do with anything. And a lot to do with everything. That's all. So you go ahead. I'm finding this.
The theory you have?
That's my theory. The inside the Star of David is the hydrogen molecule, and I feel that the hydrogen molecule is the molecule of love.
Love as a molecule. Well, I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, because it's also the starter of life. It's it takes of water. H2O. Hydrogen it's key.
Mm-hmm. Well, Sarah, this is the time I usually close. Well, I usually end it around 7 o'clock, so I went a little over today, and I'm gonna go ahead and shut down the. I'm gonna go ahead and conclude.
I want to thank you. This was wonderful.
But at least you found me. You know where I am. And Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, I like to. I'm right here, and I like to, Just
Well, I
you
love
got
it. Thank you very much. It took me a while to be able to get in, and because I started at 6 o'clock, and it took me that long before I could figure it out. But I'm grateful, and I learned a lot. I want to thank you.
to. Yeah, it's I uh, I just love the way. I mean, I've never really been a reader, but until I've come across spiritual things, but nothing like the OAHSPE, where it's
Well,
really easy.
it's been so long, and so much of that went over my head that, and even now, a lot of it goes over my head. But I'm in a whole different learning mode than I was then, and it means a whole
I
lot
mean,
more.
like what parts go over your head? You think? I mean, what do you mean?
Oh, I didn't even know what a vortex was back then. Now I can explain to you the whole formula for vortex-based mathematics. I mean, but when I first when I first heard about it, I didn't know what a torus energy field is,
Oh,
and
you
it
know
is
what?
the formula for a torus energy field.
You know what you ought to do? You know what you ought to do? You know what you ought to do? You should now let me do this real quick. You should check out this brother's channel. Let me see. You should go and listen to this brother's channel because he is always talking about the vortex. Vortexian technology, Vortexian OAHSPE, Vortexian. So let me see if I can find his channel. Let's see. Where is his channel at? Okay, where? Where is his channel here? Okay, let me do it like this. Let me find it over here. And you should subscribe to this brother's channel,
Okay.
Sarah. And I think you're going to connect. So let me find it first. Okay, here's a brother's channel that you should take a note of.
Honor and humility.
Yeah, you should take a note of his channel. You should take a note of his channel, especially.
Wait. I'm still writing humility.
Oh, okay. My bad. Hold on. Take a note of his channel. I got it in the link in my description box. I got their channels in my description box.
I don't know what that is.
It's on the screen. It's on the screen in my on the YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Screen. You scroll down, you see the description.
And then the other one was Cal.
Oh yeah, the other one is this brother right here.
Cosmin Cal.
Yeah.
Now I've heard Cosmin Cal.
Okay. Well.
And I liked what he said.
So see, he's kind of mystic, like he's kind of mystic in a sense too. He talks about the Vortexian energy fields, and he talks.
I liked him a lot, and then I think he kind of fell off. I think he was trying to
right here.
Right there you go. See, that's it right there. Look at that. What's that say?
Jehovah Chronicles 183, the vortex. He does a lot of video, talks about it a lot,
Say that again.
Jehovah Chronicles. Yeah. Jehovah Chronicles. Yeah. So you can subscribe to him and then make sure you click on the icon so that you get a notification.
And it says Chronicles, and then it says something else, and then something vortex.
It says number 183, the vortex.
Wait, number
183.
183.
The vortex.
The vortex. Now, is this on Cal's channel?
Yeah. Yeah, this channel right here.
Okay. Yeah, I think he and some of the others don't see it eye to eye. I'm not going to name names, but I liked what I heard.
Well, you might be right. You just have to decide for yourself.
Well, I think because so then he kind of backed out. But I can tell you that on an on a Wednesday OAHSPE call, we used to have a science night. and I actually did the talk for on vortex-based mathematics and the formula for the torus energy field, and which was discovered by Marco Rodin. And so the day I was supposed to give it, 20 minutes beforehand, I decided, well, I hadn't seen Marco, and he used to live with me, and he showed this to me, and it went right over my head when he did. And he probably said torus energy field, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't understand. But he put it on a computer for me, and that computer was in a car that was stolen. So, but in any case, it's a long story. But in any case, I called him. I got a hold of him. I called him 20 minutes before I was supposed to be on the call, and I invited him to come, and he came as a guest. But we didn't go into what it was. So I was invited to come back and do it again. So I came back and I gave the talk and explained his whole formula for what the formula for a torus energy field. And it's fascinating, but I can write it in the chat for you, and then I'll let you go, because I know you're ready to be done.
What is the torus energy field, if you could summarize it?
Well, we are a torus energy field. That's why this is called our torso. But it's the everything's kind of created in a vortex, and it's all breaks down to numbers, and it's a formula. I would have to, I'd have to show you how it works, how it creates. So we're a vortex. The Earth is a vortex. If you take a look at, it is a torus energy field. If you take a look at the solar system and how it goes in a circle, and you take a look at the universe and it's like a circle, or even a Milky Way, it's this circle with the hole in the middle. That is a torus energy field, and they're nested inside of each other. It can get very complicated, but I will send you to a couple sites so that you will really understand it. So where can I actually write in the chat? Join the chat. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna give you some sites to look at on YouTube. And the first one, though, is the test. It's secret. It's not letting me write. What? Okay. Where am I? Connect your YouTube account to join. Connect. Okay. Comments. Would this be a private chat? I might have to just give it to you. It's not letting me do that.
The significance of the torus energy field, because I hear brethren talking all the time about things that are over my head, but I know that there's some significance to it. I know that I'll get there just at a stage right now where I'm really just a new beginner in the OAHSPE.
Exactly. And this is for the newbie.
Now, because my question would be, not to sound harsh, but so what? 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 You know what I mean? Like a little child. Why?
Well, okay.
Why is this?
Well, the so what is because then it gives you an understanding of the cosmology, prophecy and cosmology a little more. But it also that little donut shape you saw, that is a device that could power up a village. It is free energy. Tesla said, if you can understand the secrets of the 369, you'll understand the secrets of the universe. And it is the secret.
I know that type of information is suppressed. Oh, we got Brother Dave in the room. All right.
But what I'm saying is, this is the secret to the 369.
Well, that type of information ain't getting out. But I know that I seem to believe that we are going to, I believe in my heart that type of information has long been suppressed. And I think the cosmic era where we are right now, this information is going to get out. And we are going, you know what I mean?
And a lot of people are using I just heard of some people that are using his technology, and they're making money off it, and he's not making a dime because He's afraid it's going to fall in the wrong hands.
Who's afraid?
Marco
Oh,
Rodin.
I didn't know that.
No, you can Google Marco Rodin with a K,
Hey,
Marko.
Sorry, bro. I hope you weren't waiting long. I didn't know you were backstage.
Oh, I just popped on.
Hi.
Hi, Sarah. I think she's talking about the south poles, the electromagnetic currents, makes it a toroid energy field. There we go.
There you go. Yeah, pretty much. And I'm also talking about the formula for it.
Yeah.
And also I'm talking about the Rodin coil. Marco Rodin, who is the father of the vortex-based mathematics, he created this. It's a donut shape with copper that goes around the donut hole. It's a form of free energy. But what's important, and most people don't do it correctly, is the gap. When you're doing when you're putting the copper around, it has to be a very specific gap between them.
So, what can I do with this knowledge? Can I blow up my?
You can use it for free energy if you use it for free energy.
Yeah, I know that.
How are we going to be on a system where we don't use money? We're going to be on a system where we don't use money in the future.
Yeah.
We have to have free energy.
Yeah.
It is the key. It is the key that they are suppressing.
The present structure ain't gonna let that information get out.
That is why they destroyed Tesla in the first place.
Let me say this real quick too. I think that's what the cosmological situation in the world, and when I was talking about Pluto going back into Capricorn, I think that this information is going to explode after November 19th, because this is like Pluto going into Capricorn. What it seems to represent is like the last hurrah for this old Cephas. Cephas is one of the entities of the creator, and it's like established structure, whether it be religion or whether it be society, So, hey, Snaz, how you doing? Hey, Snaz, I'm sorry, I'm greeting a sister that came in the room.
Cool. So can we see them? Are they on? Can I see them too?
Come on in, A-Snap. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sarah.
Can I see them too? Are they in the room where I can see them?
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat. So I what we talking about here, I think that right now, this period we're in, where Pluto is now back in the Capricorn, and they evidently ended the port strike. I find that pretty interesting, but I think that's like the opening salvo of what we could be looking at up till November 19th of this year, because the old structure has to be torn down, and so the old has to be torn away to make way for the new. After November 19th, there will be nothing to prevent. It'll be like open field. It'll be Pluto into Aquarius, and it seems like the real explosion takes place then. At least that's what I think. You may think differently. You might not really even care about that type of stuff, but that's like my thing. I think we each have different, vibration on its concerning knowledge. But I'm always interested in what's ahead of us.
I'm just trying to get into the chat, and I don't know how.
You don't see the chat?
I see it. It won't let me in. I was in it before.
What you do is you go over and hit comments, then your comments.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I did that, and then it's making me connect to my own YouTube channel.
It shouldn't do that. It should just be on the StreamYard.
Well, that's what I thought. Now that it says select what StreamYard can access. Like, what do I, okay, manage your YouTube account.
Hey, Dave, we read something interesting earlier today. We were talking about first, second, third resurrection, and we were talking about subjectivity and objectivity. Read from verse, and I think it was inspiration, and it seemed to say that. And I forgot. I did ask the doctor about your observation about Siddhantes.
Oh,
And,
okay.
Yeah, and he seems to stand corrected. Now, the study that he is putting forth is a draft, but he submitted it for brethren to look at. And so this is one of the things that he submitted it for so that people, they can see things and bring it to his attention. So I asked him about Siddhantes, and if I mentioned that did he have a corporal life or not? And he said something to the effect of he died as an infant. But I think he's going to retract that part of his study where he mentioned that Siddhantes had knowledge of corporality before the rulership of the earth. Does that make any sense? He seems to say that he's going to retract that part.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Because some of the people that were
nurseries,
some of the spirits that were with him, right, they died in infancy or never had a corporeal existence.
Exactly.
But him and his crew, his major crew, they all were at one time corporeal beings on another planet.
Now, I can't actually see his face. Is there a way to close the Cosmin Cal TV and see him?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
you know what? You look like Mr. Wilson. I can only see your eyes and over your head and your head.
Okay, yeah. Let me close that and see if that will make a difference.
Yeah, that should do it.
There you go.
There we go.
Okay.
And what's your name?
David Long.
David Long. And I'm Sarah Sue Angel Hair. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
So, Dave, we were looking at subjectivity and objectivity earlier today, and it was pretty interesting. And it seemed to say that the verse that we read, it seemed to say that it talked about the objective and the subjective and the objective mind, and how the first resurrection is the subjective mind. Does that make any sense to you? Meaning that they were limited
in their astrally project. You're going there. Right. It's objective because you've taken your soul or your spirit out of your body and traveled there into first resurrection astral. You see. Same thing with second resurrection. Like I've been to Yatante several times.
Now, Yatante is a realm, right?
Yeah, it's over the U.S. It's a subjective heaven for those who died in infancy. So they learn corporeal things.
Interesting.
Now, run that by me again. You said Yatante is a subjective heaven where they learn corporeal things.
Yeah, the spirits who died in infancy or were aborted.
I see. Okay, I got it now. I see. Okay,
so basically, they continue learning on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
I see. So abortions go there and learn about corporeal
Interesting.
things.
What do they say about abortions?
Abortion isn't a good thing, because you're denying the corporeal existence of a being. If you don't want to have children, you should have, protection.
Okay,
like
what if someone forces
prophylactic.
themselves on you? Yeah, but what if someone forces themselves on you?
Well, still, that's a very touchy situation right there. I can't tell a person what they should or shouldn't do with their body, because it is their choice. You see.
Is there anywhere in OAHSPE that says anything about it?
No, not specifically, but there was a time that a bunch of spirits that wanted to be with their kin, they urged their kinfolk to commit suicide. Now that's in OAHSPE somewhere.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, a lot of them did commit suicide, but it basically just flooded the astral world with unripe spirits that, they didn't want to, advance to the higher resurrections because they really didn't know much about them.
Interesting.
So basically, they had to be rounded up and, put into schools and put to work so they wouldn't come back to, persuade any more of their kin to commit suicide.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty heavy.
Yeah. Okay, so the first resurrection.
So the first resurrection is Yatante.
Oh, it could be it's basically a second resurrection of heaven because they're learning about corporeal life, even though they never had a corporeal life.
Mm-hmm. So they could land in second resurrection, newborn or aborted spirits, and learn about corporeal life there.
Yeah.
But first resurrection, no learning goes on there.
Not too much learning because first resurrection souls would tend to hang around basically their old haunts on the earth. Like if a banker died, he'd stay with his bank with his money.
Right. Right. Yeah. The rich man.
There are examples in that in OAHSPE, I believe.
Yeah, there is. I remember that.
Yeah, that's basically your first resurrection.
Where can you find this statement here?
About the rich man?
No, right here, where we're looking at right now. No, I want to take a picture.
What are we looking at?
Hold on just a
where
second.
you got that
OAHSPE
Bible Fellowship. Your page, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Oh, don't move it. Don't move it. I'm taking a picture of it. Oh, go back. I was taking a picture of it.
Of this?
I don't know.
Yeah, right there.
That. Right there. Okay, now scroll up just a little bit to get the rest of it.
You're scrolling down,
Okay.
scroll up.
Yeah, scroll up. Other direction?
Up. Yeah, that's the way. Keep going up. Yeah, keep going up. She'll tell you when to stop.
There. Okay, now stop it so that, because I don't know if I actually got it or if it was in motion. Let me see.
Right
Yeah,
there.
I'm good. Oh, okay, let me take another. I'll take another picture. Okay, thank you.
Got it.
I got
All
it.
right. Well, if there's nothing else, Sarah, that you have, or take advantage of Dave while you got him here. Brother is older.
Yeah, explain, Dave. Dave, what is your relationship to OAHSPE?
Oh, I found OAHSPE in 2000. I was in Sedona, and my boots led me right to it.
I've never been to Sedona.
I found it in a place called Claire's Sweet Antiques in Sedona on Coffee Pot.
Really? So you bought the book? Is that it? And then it just sang to you?
It was $25. Because
Wow.
I'd looked before for it in like Barnes and Noble, and
You couldn't find it in Barnes and Noble?
oh yeah, you could find it, but it was like $450 to $600.
Are you kidding me?
No, ma'am.
I had it in my health food store in 1981, 80 to 82, actually. I think I was selling it for $9.
Yeah. They say that Fate magazine had access to it, but I was a subscriber to Fate, and I never saw any ads for it.
I never even heard of Faith Magazine. Is it still going on?
Yeah, it was put out by what's that guy's name? Now let me hit the Fate magazine right quick.
So do you? But do you ever come to the Wednesday nights, or is that a different? Are you not associated with that group?
No, I think I went there once or twice, but my phone kept messing up or something.
Do you want to come back?
Yeah, okay, here's the Fate magazine I was talking about.
Okay.
Now, I want the editor.
And do you know Dale?
Dale?
The one that's alive, not the one that's dead. There are two Dales.
I'm not sure. This was a while back that I went in.
Well, there was the Dale Bloom. What's his last name? But he's dead. But then there's another Dale. What's the other Dale's name? And he's very, very knowledgeable. He came on a call recently, and actually I connected with him, and I'm really grateful that I did. But he doesn't come on very often.
Oh, Raymond Palmer. That's the guy.
Raymond Palmer. That
Yeah.
Raymond Paul, is he still? He's not alive, is he?
No, he was the editor of Fate magazine, and he also put
And he's the
put
one
out
I used to buy my
OAHSPE
books from.
under the Palmer edition.
The Palmer edition. So I bought my books from him, and I used to be in connection, in contact with him. And didn't he have a little community somewhere in the south, somewhere in the southeast?
Yeah,
Was it
I think
Tennessee,
he did.
Georgia,
I think he did.
Alabama? One of those places up there, over there.
Like I said,
Raymond Palmer, because I always forget his name but every time I do, I like spark up.
yeah.
Cool.
What I was about to say
So
is,
do you know
ISIS,
Joan? Do you know Joan? Do you know Joan? What?
Joan Greer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Joan. We're friends.
Yes. Joan and Joy and what?
Joan, Joy, and Celeste.
Right.
Yeah,
I guess I would like to invite you to our meditation.
Oh, I think I'll do that one of these times.
It's the same number that you call for the Wednesday night call. Do you have that number?
Yeah, I believe I got it on my phone.
Okay, because they have a new one now. And they also have it so that you can actually go online and do it face to face, which I haven't really been able to figure out yet.
Yeah, what I was going to say is I subscribed to Fate magazine, but I didn't ever see any ads for OAHSPE. Or it could have been that I wasn't ready for it yet. So Creator kind of like blinded my eyes to it. Because if I'd seen it, and realized what it was, I'd have got it right then and there.
Well, I got it in 1979.
Ah.
And I had run into two ladies in Ashland, Oregon, and they had a restaurant called the Light of Cosman, a vegetarian restaurant. They were just closing down. They turned me on to it. I read the whole thing, and most of it went over my head. But what really sang to me was about community, because I was the liaison between all the Northwest communities. And that's how I met them, because they had their own little community of two people. And but also another lady, Cornelia, who was 84, and they turned me on to OAHSPE and to Dr. Carl Wickland, and another book.
Carl Wickland?
Are you familiar with Dr. Carl Wickland? And 30 Years Among the Dead.
Yeah, I read that book.
Understanding.
Yeah, I read that book. That's where I heard that name. Yeah.
Right. Well, and did you see Gateway to Understanding was the sequel to that? It was the second book.
No,
Which basically it was just a continuation of more experiences, but there was the point of it. It's called Gateway to Understanding, because notice when they first would tell the spirit, they would jar the spirit out with the static electrical shock, and that machine is in the Smithsonian Institute.
Oh,
and yeah, and it's this machine that would jar the spirit out with a static electrical shock, and then take over Mrs. Wickland's body, because she was a perfect medium. Well,
everybody froze again.
Oh no, don't freeze. Okay, good. And so, because she was a perfect medium. But notice when they would tell the spirit that it was dead, it didn't believe it.
Yeah.
No, because it didn't know. It was one of those spirits that didn't know it was dead. It hadn't raised up to the second resurrection. And I'm just understanding that tonight, because I didn't understand about the resurrections. A lot of this went over my head, and a lot of it I haven't read since. So I'm just now starting to understand some of the stuff. But so this was a very good lesson to me. It was like a Bible study. So, but in any case, do you remember in that book where they wouldn't believe that they were dead? And first they had to have the knowledge they were dead.
Yeah.
So then they had the knowledge, but they didn't believe it yet, right? Once they understood the knowledge, so then they knew they were dead. Then all of a sudden they saw their loved ones that were there to help them make the transition.
Yep.
Thus the name, the gateway to understanding. And it's a universal law, maybe a cosmic law. The difference between cosmic laws and universal laws is that cosmic laws are for all the universes, and the universal laws are just for our universe.
Yeah.
So, but the law where you have to have the knowledge, and then you have to understand that knowledge, and then you raise up. And I think that would have a lot to do with what they're talking about right here. That's in the window right there about the first resurrection and the second resurrection. And it's really about, do you have the understanding? First, do you realize you're dead? Do you understand it? Then you're ready to raise up to the second resurrection. And I think that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, that'd be very.
That was pretty damn good, wasn't it?
Very concise explanation right there. Yes.
That was hot. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Well, I know you caught that, but I'm thinking if I can pronounce his name correctly.
Oh, me? I'm trying to interpret it. Trying to translate what y'all are saying. The part about the knowing and then the manifestation is, I'm chewing on that.
Okay, so we both read the book, so we understand what, so maybe if I just explain, and I think I told you about this last night, where Dr. Carl Wicklund was a psychiatrist, and he said 90 to 95% of people who are in the crazy house are possessed. And he created this machine that creates a static electrical shock at the base of the spine that jars the spirit out of the body. And because his wife was a perfect medium, the spirit would take over her body, and then they were able to communicate with it. And they were able to say, hey, he or she would be able to give names and dates and streets and phone numbers if they had phones, depending on how long that spirit had been in there. But they were able to actually get proof, even like if somebody would have, say, a neck ache that could not be diagnosed. Well, the person that was possessing them may have died instantly in an accident where they snapped their neck. Or if they had a constant back pain, but there was no reason for it. Whatever it was, that it had more to do with the spirit that was possessing them, because there was not a physical diagnosis for what was going on with them. So anyway, then when the spirit took over Mrs. Wicklund's body, they were able to communicate with it. And at first it did not believe it was dead. So these spirits that take over other people's bodies, the entities that possess people's bodies, they don't know they're dead. And so what happens is when they're told they're dead. So first they have the knowledge. They still don't believe it quite yet, but once they believe it and they understand it, they went, oh, okay, I'm dead. I understand that. All of a sudden, they could see their loved ones there to help them raise up to the next level. And so what I'm saying is and that next level could even be the first resurrection. Who knows? Because it looks like they aren't even in the first resurrection yet, but who knows? But then what I'm saying is, then they can raise to the. You can't raise from one resurrection to the other without having first the knowledge and then the understanding.
Sarah, can you hear me?
No. Yes, I do.
What do you mean about they not knowing that they're in the first resurrection, the spirits that took over this body?
This is an entity that has been jarred out of somebody's body it's been possessing, and is now taking over his wife's body, who is a medium, so that they are actually able to communicate. Dr. Wickland would talk to the spirit through his wife.
And the spirit
And
wouldn't
they would
know.
be able to.
The spirit wouldn't know if it was dead.
It didn't know it was dead. It didn't realize it was possessing
When it
another
did
body.
accept the thought that it was dead, then it was able to see his relatives.
Once it had the understanding. First, it
Uh-huh.
had to have the knowledge. Then it had to have the understanding of that knowledge.
Uh-huh.
And this is a law. You know, first we have to have the knowledge, and then we have to have the understanding before we can raise up in anything.
Oh, you froze up again.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I see her.
Oh, yeah, she's back again. You froze up just for a second. Or
Good.
maybe.
Now, that's
3 seconds.
pretty interesting, man. That is really pretty. I mean, I subscribe to that.
Like I was gonna say, say an atheist, right? Passes away. He's not gonna believe he's dead. He's gonna try to, communicate with humans, but they're not gonna see or hear him. You see, and he's gonna get really confused, by that, and he might just like wander off somewhere. Then if somebody, one of his relatives, who'd already passed on, came and talked to him, he wouldn't believe him because he don't believe in spirit or ghosts or anything like that. You see.
Well, I back her up. I'm not 100% sure I subscribe to that, Dave, because I really think that once they get a certain understanding that they are dead, when they start seeing and they have the understanding of it, when they start seeing their loved ones, I think there's a shift. I think they get that, but I'm not sure. And that could be individual. I think that would be.
That would have a lot to do with the individual type spirit.
Yeah. I think that could go either way. It really, because that could go either way. Kind of depends on where they're at and their perception, their belief.
Yeah.
When you have your mother or your father or a loved one come and help you, and you see them and you feel them, kind of hard to refute it, right?
Well, yeah, it would be. I would think, but
they're there all the time. They're there to help you, but you can't see them because you don't have the understanding that they're there. That you don't have the understanding that you're dead.
Yeah.
It sounds like the Creator to me. That it starts with you.
Well, we're talking about possession here.
If you're willing to receive it.
I don't know if it's about willingness or just.
Well, in order to acknowledge,
it's often someone who dies instantly so that they don't know they're dead.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like that lady that in the last scene of the Sixth Sense. She died of a broken neck, and he's talking to his mother.
Exactly.
She's right outside your window. Of course, he couldn't see him or her, but he could.
Yeah, it's a lot closer to that.
Yeah.
Now,
you know what? The book's probably out of print, but it's worth a look-see. And you really only need the second one because the second one's just a continuation of the first one. So you
Well,
get the
I
idea.
remember reading the first one. Must have been way back.
Well, yeah, and
I want to
I
say
think I
70s or early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, or
yeah, I would
somewhere
have,
in
yeah,
there,
probably.
or maybe
And you know
before.
what? When I
Reached
had
it.
my health food store and restaurant, uh, Dr. Wickland's nephew came into my store and was a customer of mine. And Dr. Wickland had died, but he wanted to take over Dr. Wickland's work. I don't know whatever happened, but I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm.
And Dr. Wickland started out at the cyclical or the let's see, Illinois Cyclical Research Foundation.
Yeah.
Like, and I also used to belong to that before I ever heard of him. Back in 1975, and 6, I belonged to that because I was living in Evanston, Illinois. And so then I read this in 79. At the same time I did the OAHSPE, they also turned me on to these books. And I had copies of them. I don't anymore. I might still have them. Don't know. So, but you might be able to find a copy of that and read it.
Yeah, I'll check with Amazon, and it might be able to get it through Amazon.
There was a place where you could get books that were out of print, and that's where well, if only I remember. Well, you can Google that.
Yeah.
And AI it. You can AI it. Kind of like an AI.
Well,
I actually
brother,
just recently. You go ahead, because it sounds like you want to, and you've been on for a long time.
yeah. Well, no, it's not that. I just thought that that we had. It was a good time for me to step in, and I didn't know if you had anything more you wanted to say, but
The only thing I'd like to say is I'd like to know how I can connect with David.
Oh, I'm on Facebook.
Okay, good. Me too. So, David, what is your Facebook name?
David Long.
David, I can't. Because I'm just seeing the top of your forehead. I'm not seeing anything else.
Yeah, you got to take HNAF's comment down.
Well, it's not up to me. I can't do it.
No. Brother Jacob got to do it. Click twice on the comment, and it should disappear.
Okay, so David, what?
David Long.
Oh, Long. Oh, yeah, I wrote it over here. Well, isn't that kind of generic?
No. I think you'll notice my hat and my beard.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
That'll be the right one.
I have a different name on Facebook, and I have 2 clones, some that have cloned me. So I want to make sure that once we're friends, don't accept any more friend requests. But okay, I'm going to search for you.
Fritz.
David Line. Oh, okay. You're a caretaker at Justin Horse?
Yep. That's me.
Okay, I just added you.
Or was a caretaker. As I was in Chinle for quite a while. I'm in Bullhead City now.
Where?
Bullhead City.
Where? What state?
It's Arizona.
Oh, okay. So Are you on the same time zone as I am, or no, you're on Pacific time zone now, but you will be on Mountain time zone after the change?
No, Arizona doesn't change
We
time.
don't either. But so for me, okay. So right now, are you 8:21?
Yep, 8:21, right
So
on
right
the dot.
now, for me, you're the same as Pacific time because I'm in Belize. So we don't change either. So right
Oh,
now I'm on Mountain time. But once after daylight savings time is over, then I'm on Central Standard Time, and I am 2 hours ahead of Pacific time. And then I'm 1 hour ahead of you because then you're on Mountain time.
yeah, I'm on Mountain Standard.
Right. And I'm on Mountain time right now.
So this guy here was 30 years among the dead?
Yes. Dr.
How-
Carl Wickland.
How well, I mean, in the spirit? I mean, how do you
No. He was a psychiatrist, and he worked in a hospital in California, the mental ward in a hospital, and because his wife would take the spirit over, and they would communicate with it. It's 30 years among the dead. They did this for 30 years. So call it a study that he did for 30 years of possessed people.
Yeah.
And he freed them. And as they freed him, the spirit out of the body, the people their ailments would go away, their mental illnesses would go away, their physical ailments would go away. But you can be possessed by more than one spirit.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't even talk about that. But in the work that we do, I do energy medicine, and we actually we get rid of the entities.
So I'm missing something here. His wife was a medium.
What?
His wife was a medium.
Yes.
And he healed a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
had the person who was possessed come in, the spirit would go into his wife, and then he would cast the spirit out.
It wasn't that he cast the spirit out. Once the spirit understood he was dead, they would leave Mrs. Wickland, and they would go to the next resurrection.
With the spirit first.
What?
I said he'd attempt to reason with the spirit.
Had to tell it that it was dead, and it had to really grasp. It had to understand it.
That's what I'm saying.
So here we got one person, but many people healed.
Say that again.
We got one medium, but we got a lot of people healed. I'm trying to put it together.
Right. They did it over 30 years.
But I'm missing something. We got 30 years. We got his wife, but we got a lot of people being healed, or a lot of spirits. I mean, I'm missing something. It's like
okay. What are you missing?
He got a lot of spirits to realize. Okay, so he helped the spirits then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he helped free the spirit out of the body, and then when it would leave because it wouldn't return to the person, then that person was
these spirits possessed. They entered into his wife, and then he would get them to see that they are dead, and he freed them that way.
Well, because yes, then they could communicate. Once they were in his wife's body, she could communicate with them.
Okay, I got it. Yeah.
Right. So it's not just that he was talking through her. She's a medium. So they would come through her, and I think then he would actually talk to the spirit through her. It's kind of funny the way that works. I don't really know. It hasn't happened to me.
Well, usually a medium will lend them their vocal cords, but won't allow them to go into the body, because a lot of these
Gotcha.
spirits, when they come into the body, they won't leave.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, I never thought of that
I've done a little bit of
perspective.
mediumship myself.
That's it. Have you ever had an experience?
Oh, I've had several.
Like
the easy way to do that now is for me to go out of the body and talk to the spirit face to face.
So can you leave your body at will?
Yes.
Well, so that's kind of what we were talking about here. If you take a look at what's in the chat, not in the chat, but in the box, whether it's somebody that leaves their body at will, has a mind out of body experience, has a near death experience, or just plain dies.
Yeah.
That's what this is talking about here, we believe. So what is your experience?
Oh, I've had several of them.
And do you choose to leave at will very often?
Yeah, I can. I usually do this about maybe once or twice a month, but I usually go to Yatante, where I'm either a teacher at that point, or I'm taking courses there.
And so, where is Yatante, and how do you spell it?
It's in OAHSPE.
Yeah, but I don't know where.
Yatante would be YATON. Apostrophe TE.
Okay. See, there's a lot in OAHSPE I don't know.
Okay, this was created during the time of Fragapati, so you'd be looking under Fragapati.
How do you spell that?
Fragapati?
Yeah.
FRAGAPPTI. Fragapati. FRAGAPPATTI.
Okay. I'll look that up because I don't know that book very well at all. In fact, I don't know most of it. What really saying to me at the time was the community. To me, it was the perfect community, and it's still pretty perfect. Now, I'm also connected with a group or someone that is getting information from.
Whoop, you froze. Oh, there you go. You're back again now.
That I also get information from the galactic, and I'm wondering really if some of this doesn't in OAHSPE doesn't actually relate to galactic information and communication, so that there's Fragapati.
There it is. Yatante right there.
Okay, let me. There we go. And there's so much of this I don't understand.
So Yatante commanded his Odi band to be put in order and illumined. So it looks like it was a person too.
Yeah. Yatante was the creator of that heaven, so that's why they named it after him.
Okay. So, because what they're saying is the galactic Elohim, which is really like a federation of aliens from other planets,
Yeah.
basically they're going to create a state on Earth where there is peace, no money system, no governing system, uh, and it's all going to come about because of the. Now, this was a book that was channeled in starting in 1947 through Alan Michael, and it does say somewhere in OAHSPE that there will be other books that will have information. So, gotcha. And I do believe that this is one of them.
Yeah.
And and it's called The Everlasting Gospel. And it was channeled through a man named Alan Michael.
Somewhere.
What?
But I can't remember exactly where.
Well, and if you can write this down, if I can write in the chat, it's real simple. It's
Whoop, I think you froze again.
really?
I hear you.
There you go.
I see you. Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can write this in.
Yeah. I think I've seen that book somewhere, but I can't remember exactly where I seen it.
And .org. And that would be, okay, let me see.
Yeah, there.
I'm getting it.
No, it's not sure if that's it. No, that's.
Well, I'm sending it to you. It's going to be here in just any second here. Okay. Oh, so that's where they got that from Revelations. Wow, cool.
9 times out of 10, when you type in something like that, it'll come up with a Bible.
Well, and they do make references to the Bible, but they say, a lot of stuff in the Bible isn't true, or it's misconstrued, whatever.
Yeah.
And so they kind of give you the in the same way that even OAHSPE does that. And the one thing, Alan, they had a commune for 40 years called One World Family Commune. And it was very successful, and they had vegetarian restaurants out of the Bay Area. It started out of Haight-Ashbury. And he started channeling this in 1947, and 20 years later, they created the commune that was in 1967 that lasted for 40 years. Well, now Joseph Antere, who edited the book, is still alive at 81, and he is still channeling the World Comforter that Alan Michael was channeling. Mm-hmm. And so he's doing current podcasts. So he just sent me a podcast that I just listened to. And I can send you the podcast. I can actually probably find it and put it in, if that's okay. Because I think it goes along with OAHSPE.
Yeah.
It does not conflict. And that's not coming up. Oh, there it is. It's just slow. Okay, here. Oops. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, let's see. Ah,
All right. Well, sis, something I'm gonna jump in here and in the video, and I got your message. And what is these
oh
links?
yeah, I was able to send it.
What now? Again, before I end the video, what are these links going to show me? Can you bullet point them? What are they going to? Why am I looking at these? What are they going to tell me?
I'm going to send you something that will do that right now. So don't end it yet.
I want you to tell me in brief why I'm looking at these links. What is it that you are trying to? What are you? What is it that you want me to see when you when I look at these links? What is it that I'm looking for? What type of information am I looking for?
Well, this is what he's talking about is really I don't even know how to explain it really, except that let me see. It's basically the light of cosmos. It's that world that we're going to create and live in. But how are we going to get there? And actually, there are some solutions on how we're going to get there, and that we're all going to come together. One thing that was predicted that they didn't predict in OAHSPE was that we're all going to come together on the World Wide Web. And now he was predicting this before the World Wide Web. You can imagine that.
Now, do you think that this will be our generation, or do they foresee it for our generation or for generations to come?
Well, I think we're seeding it.
Yeah, that's a good word.
We're seeding it. You know, like here he said, okay, devolution marches on, more war on the horizon. Now he's channeling some of this. In spite of all the hideous mortal karma playing out behind it, all God's spirit is helping, loving, and lifting all souls, all life into the kingdom of God, which it's a spiritual utopian space, space paradise that already exists throughout the universe, and it is a self-governing system that requires no laws, rules, or regulations. All life flows in every growing, conscious, expanding way.
So he's not talking about on the earth. He's talking about in the spiritual.
No, actually, I think he's both. But you know, some of this is coming from actual space beings from other planets, aliens.
Ethereum.
Yeah. And see, that's what I'm saying is some of these Ethereans that, you know, that in OAHSPE, you know, we call them angels, we call them Ethereans, but some of them are from beings from other planets.
Oh yeah.
And so here, okay, I did that get sent to the chat?
Is it a link or something, or?
Yeah.
I don't see anything.
And then I'm gonna, I thought I sent something else, but I guess I didn't copy it correctly. So
these are messages that were channeled.
Correct. Well, one's a whole website. They're different. These are websites. They aren't the actual. But here's one that's an actual channel that recent one. But here's what was interesting about this one, and I just listened to it today twice. Let's see if this goes. Okay, good. And this will give you a little flavor. If you go to the galacticmessenger.com, you can download the PDF of the book. There you go. And also there'll be a place where there are videos, And if you take a look at the video where there are two men dressed in suits, one of those is Alan Michael and the other is Joseph Entere. And Joseph is the one that's still alive. Michael is no longer alive, but he's the one that did the channeling. And in it, the first thing he channeled was the new Bill of Rights. The new, what's it called? It's not really. It's called. And he says that there's going to be a new place called Placentia, a planet of plenty and rebirth, and it's the New Covenant World Bill of Rights. Do you guys want to hear the Bill of Rights? It's short.
Yeah.
Okay. Let each of us, and this was 1947, let each of us share all the world, the kingdom of God, and call one place of our choosing our own, and be free to come and go in the world and stay at any dwelling place accommodating travelers. That means like a free Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
Okay. Let each of us give of ourselves to the extent of our ability to the one world company, and in return all things shall be added unto us. Let each of us be judged only by our conscience in God, and let no people judge their fellow beings, but rather take judgment of their own thought and action.
Yeah.
Let no person or group hold any authority over another, except that people be willingly led by wisdom and true personality. Let the government be of the people, where the people are self-governed, by the people, where the people enjoy perfect freedom, for the people where the people give themselves abundant living. Let the government seat be only the storehouse and inventory of the people's products. Let all things be done unto edification, for God is not the author of confusion. Channeled by Alan Michael. That's it. That is the New Covenant Bill of Rights.
How do you like that?
I love it.
It sounds like a fraternity.
And they had the one world family commune for 40 years, where they shared everything. They created businesses. They had the biggest and best vegetarian restaurants in the Bay Area. And then I think they had a publishing company. They had different businesses, and they did a lot of good things. And I guess then they started to die off. I think there's anyway. So that's it pretty much. Oh, but what I was going to say. Okay, so like in this one that I just sent you, and it talks about the 144,000 that's in Book of Revelations. Well, I didn't even know where it was in the Bible, but years ago, I was listening to a cassette tape. It was back when they had Walkmans, and I was crossing the street, and I remember, and I was listening to Barbara Marx Hubbard, and she was talking about this 144,000 in the Bible, you know, and that we're starting to come together, and that we don't have to save the world alone, that people are coming together. And tears started rolling down my eyes and I felt this weight lift off my shoulder, that I don't have to save the world all by myself. I'm not alone. And because we don't know what drives us, but I knew I was one of those 144.
Yeah, now I don't know about the 144,000.
Well, exactly, because you know what? Joseph says there's like millions. It's not just 144.
I mean, I mean, from the standpoint that it comes from the Bible, and I think I do subscribe to the belief that Revelation is the downfall of the beast kingdom, that is talking about that.
I don't know enough about Revelation. I never really read the Bible.
But
but I do know that people are coming together now to make a difference. You know, and to seed the future.
Well,
to
the
seed
OAHSPE
the light of
talks
cosmos.
about how we were going to have angel visitations here in the Cosmic era. I don't know if you know about the Cosmic era, but it began in 1849, and it signals the time of a spiritual revival, so to speak, and it also has to do with the kingdom of God really on earth and a basically new reality.
Well, exactly.
Brief, but save some of this for tomorrow, Sarah. If you want to come back on, then
Are you on Friday?
Yeah, right. I am Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. No video on Saturday or Sunday or Wednesday. But
Okay.
Monday.
I'm in another group tomorrow night, but they don't always. I'm not always in that group, so.
Okay. Well, you have the you know where I'm at and the schedule. So feel free.
Where did I write that? Wednesday.
Feel free to join whenever you want to. We'll be here.
Oh, no.
Greater
I
willing.
wrote it on. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm looking for your schedule so that I can write it down. And I was looking in all the wrong places. So.
All right. Well, Dave, give me the sign. I'm gonna close this down. So.
Okie dokie. There you go, brother.
Thank you for coming on.
Okay,
And
well, I want to find where I don't even find you. Wait. Where are you? Where are you? What did I do with you?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm trying to find. Oh, here it is. See, I took you out of my book so that I could put you in a file. Okay, so I see Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Yeah, same bat time, same bat channel.
I just want to be clear. Oh, and David.
Thanks again for coming on.
Do you have a phone number?
Yeah.
David, I'm going to put, before you close the chat, I'm putting my phone number.
Let me, my phone number should be right on my Facebook page. Everything should be on
Okay, but I happen to be writing it down right now. Really? You have your phone number on your Facebook page?
Oh yeah, I got nothing
what
to hide.
Just me too. I put it out there everywhere. Oh, in fact, and I'm doing that, and I'm doing /. Okay, here. Those are two ways to get a hold of me. If you come to the meet-in, you go on your computer, or you can get the app on your phone, and it'll take you right into a room, just like Zoom or like this. It's like this, and it's very private. Okay.
Well,
so
I don't
what's
know
your phone number, David?
You sent it to me, but I don't know if Dave got it.
Oh, so he can't see the chat?
Oh yeah, I can see the chat.
Oh, that's what means private chat?
Yeah, but it's wouldn't be in private chat. Yeah, I got it right here.
You can see it?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it, Dave. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dave, what's yours? I'm just gonna write it down.
I got WW Galactic Messenger, Everlasting Gospel, and Joseph Antery. And Sarah Sue Angel Hair. Yep, got your number right here.
Okay, but I don't have yours. What's yours?
I gotta get my phone. But like I say, it's right on my Facebook page.
Did you already accept my invitation?
Yeah, I will as soon as I get off. I can't do this and do that at the same time. I got one computer.
Okay, well, brethren, I'm going to step in and give thanks to the creator for this video. And Sarah, thank you for the information and the conversation. And Dave, thank you, brother, coming on. Brethren, time for me to go ahead and shut it down. And so again, Sarah, come through tomorrow if you can. That really be
Well, this was cool.
if you can
Yeah.
make it, so we'll be doing
Yeah, and unless someone dies, but this is early enough before the wakes. I know I have to, the way I was kind of a joke because I'm a wake junkie. Here they have wakes, and because it's a large Garifuna population, which is a black population, they would have been slaves, but they weren't, and but there's a lot of drumming. And so when someone dies, they have a wake and there's drumming, but they all have to get drunk first, and I don't drink. So, but I dance. I love to dance to the drums because I danced all over Africa. And so,
all right. Well, thank you for joining us, brethren, and we'll meet again. Same bad time, same bad channel. I want to give thanks to the creator for this video and the light that went out of it. And brethren, again, thank you. Peace, love, light, and wisdom to all of you, brethren. Thank you for joining me. And creator willing, tomorrow we'll see you again. Shalom.
Shalom. Good night, everybody.
Peace and